and welcome to MD Global Muscle Radio here at the Pump Media Studios, joined by my co-host AJ, all the way from Norway. AJ, why have you got a mug of Aquaman?
First of all, this is Triple H. This is not Aquaman.
That is Aquaman. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. And why do you have a rather shiny belt over your shoulder? Why? Tell me.
So yesterday was WrestleMania.
Okay.
The biggest event this spring.
Okay.
Did you just? Oh.
So no, I've got a sinus problem.
So it's WrestleMania season at the Pump Media House today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I brought my belt with me.
Okay.
It's my championship belt.
Beautiful. Very shiny.
One of the biggest.
Did you win that or in a?
I bought that in a candy, like in a magazine.
Okay, so you didn't win it in a raffle or?
No.
Okay.
So I had to bring it with me because it's WrestleMania season, and I couldn't even watch WrestleMania yesterday.
Why? Because
I had to come to Wigan.
Oh, it wasn't because Batista dissed me.
Actually, that was the main event. So now I haven't even watched the WrestleMania. I haven't watched it, and I don't know the results.
Okay.
So that's why I'm not on Instagram right now.
Was that why Batista was saying he's done with wrestling now? Hang on, why are we talking about wrestling?
Because I brought my champion.
Because he's the Intercontinental Champion of the world.
Don't say who won. No. Okay. So it's wrestling motive. It's themed the intro today.
Okay. Well, yes.
Look at my cup.
Well, we've got Mean Gene there. See, I do know some.
You do know some things now. So WrestleMania. Yeah. Can you imagine if bodybuilding had the same type of lead up and do you know what wrestling has?
What?
It has its own what's it called? Network. You pay $10 a month.
Yeah.
You get all the videos ever been, like all the wrestling matches, all new shows, all pay-per-views, all old events, future events, past events for $10 a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I see sorry, I'm already working out the connection.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will all become clear later on the episode. I see what you've done there, AJ. Because I was thinking he didn't show this. He just pulled this out of the back of the car. I picked him up from the airport and he just pulled it out. And I was like, okay, I mean, I know not to ask too many questions with AJ because he's...
Aren't you a wrestling fan?
No.
It's never been?
No. I did meet Triple H once.
How many times? What did he say? Yeah, we know about that stuff.
Yeah. Go watch every single episode of Global Muscle Radio because I talk about it in every episode.
So it would be great because speaking of content, there's Arnold Brazil.
Oh, yeah.
On Saturday.
Yes, this Saturday, yeah.
And we don't even know the competitors.
I know. Was it 8 or 9 competitors? Because I put on MD, I said, I've got a lock for 9th place. And then we heard that Akin Williams is in, but...
he's in?
Yeah.
Beke?
Yeah. Biyaki. Yeah. Biyaki. Biyaki.
Who else is in?
You don't want to talk about Biyaki? Or?
Yeah, but who's in first? We have Beke.
Rafael Brandao.
Well,
we're actually going to do a proper... proper preview, which will be airing because this is Monday. This episode, the full episode, is going out on Tuesday because we do 2 episodes over 2 days. So this one will be going out on Tuesday, and then I think Tuesday night we're going to be doing a Arnold Hot News preview in the Pump Media Studios
with Ron.
Yes. Also, got to mention this show is brought to you by High Tech Pharmaceuticals.
And now we're episode
15.
Wow.
15.
Time flies.
Yeah. And you noticed how good the weather is now. Do you remember when we started, how cold it was?
It was dark and we're still cold in Norway, though.
It's 4 degrees.
Oh. Lee Priest.
Yes, last episode, Lee Priest.
Fantastic ratings.
Yes, very good. Lots of comments, lots of polarized as Lee Priest opinion, because Lee Priest is a controversial figure. He kind of speaks his truth. He speaks his mind. That goes down very well with a lot of the fans, and obviously there are some fans that doesn't go down so well with. He was a bit brutal with me.
Very brutal.
People like messaging and saying, like, "Oh, you happy with that?" And I'm like, "Oh, come on, it's Lee Priest." I know, we do have a little bit of history. And I mean, the thing is, I didn't expect him to be right out of the bat,
right out of the gate,
coming at me straight. I was like, "Whoa!" Thing is, he was kind of,
yeah. But when I walked out, because you started before me a little bit, remember?
Oh, he was giving a shit before.
Because he was dissing you even before I came in the room, wasn't he?
Yes, he did. He was. Yeah. So it kind of. Chris wants to talk.
Put your fucking camera on.
Yeah. He's like, I can see a picture of you and your fucking girlfriend, but I was like, oh, come on, Lee. Yeah. Someone's got out the bed of the wrong side of the bed this week. But no, it was exactly what I expected, and he was Lee. You know, he's a different sort of personality. He's still very well liked and followed, and it was exactly what I expected, and I had fun, to be honest. And I didn't take it. Thing is with me. When he's given he's really going for me and whatever, and he's really kind of going for it. It's like, for me, it's all about intent. It's like I actually blocked someone on Facebook a few months ago who gave me a compliment because it was backhanded.
In what way?
You know the intent behind it. You just think this guy is. When something good's happened to me, they've always been coming up with some sort of little. The backhanded compliment to me, it reads as almost like an insult. So, I'm actually very sensitive to stuff like that. So, but that was I was just like, that's just Lee. It doesn't bother me at all, you know. But saying you're my friend and you haven't spoken to me for 10 years. Well, me and him used to speak all the time, or not all the time, but we used to, because I joined the MD Forum in 2008, and we used to go back and forth on there. So, and I've seen him at Body Power Expo, I think 1 or 2 years, and so all this I haven't heard from you for 10 years, and he was talking bollocks there. So.
No, and Jessica Padilla was great too.
Oh, she's wonderful. Have you seen all the she was at like a football match or something and being awarded, she met the mayor. She's been on Puerto Rican TV. She's gone home to a parade almost. It's like a parade.
Just because she was on Global Muscle Radio.
Just because she was on Global Muscle Radio.
No, this is great that they're taking care of her.
No, I love to see that. You see, you're talking about Rafael Brandeo. There's someone that, he is literally treated like we, the UK, would treat its soccer stars, or like baseball or American football. Obviously, in America, they're like real superstars in their own country, and I love hearing that.
So she's from Puerto Rico, so that's Latin America. It's America, but it's how do you say? It's an American state.
American? No, it's South America, isn't it?
Puerto Rico is an American.
It's like Nepal's right next to India.
I think Puerto Rico is part of America.
No, say it's like Nepal.
Isn't it, Chris?
AJ, somebody else.
Yes.
Oh, he's not letting this one.
Chris, it is. I think they're part of America now. You want to check it out. But anyway.
Well, our geography's not been too good if you actually go back on past episodes.
You remember you said Nepal. But anyway, in Latin America, they're really they love bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So she's from there, Brandao,
And it's good to see, because she's been sort of like until this year, she didn't have a sponsor. So she's done 3 Olympias. She's done a lot of contests all over the world, and she's paid herself. She's financed herself. She hasn't. Why are you smiling?
Where did you say Lionel Beek was from again? Chris, let's see if you can get this.
I can't.
In the car on the way here, we were talking about Beek, I was talking. And where do you think he thought Beek was from?
Well, it just popped into my head.
Lionel Beek, that's an African name.
Zimbabwe.
He said
that would be a very good guess. Actually.
He said Montenegro.
Ah.
I don't know why.
Serbia, not Serbia, Montenegro.
Is that Serbia?
Isn't it called Serbia and Montenegro?
Guy, we need to go and do
Serbia.
Serbia. AJ, we need to do a geography course and then come back.
What's Puerto Rico in America, by the way, Chris?
What? I feel like we're going off track here. It's Cameroon, isn't it? He's from
Cameroon.
Yeah, because you said is Curacao. Because our guest is actually on our main special guest today, which we'll talk about later. He's in Curacao on holiday.
Yep.
And you said, because Roly Winkler is from Curacao, and you were asking, what is it? Is it a Dutch? And I said, yes, it's a Dutch-speaking country.
Yeah.
So I've got that right.
Because our guest is. You don't want to say it now? It's going to say it on the.
Yes, of course. So people already know. So, Chris, do you want to bring up the picture of myself with our first very special guest?
Sure, just bear with
one of the.
He's just still checking Puerto Rico's in America. I'm not sure why we talk still about it, but it's important to get it right.
We're talking. Yeah, this is.
There you go.
Look at me with shaved face. Look how fat I am.
Where is this from?
That was at the Arnold Europe in 2017. This was at the Expo, and I don't know why my collar's looking like that. But
so this is Barry Demey.
This is Barry Demey. Yes, this is our
80s legend.
Very special guest, yeah. I remember having, I had some, because I had this huge bedroom. I grew up in this old pub when I was a kid and lived with my dad. And my whole room was just covered in bodybuilding pictures. And I had this big fold-out poster of Barry Demey on one of my wardrobes. And, beside chest. And he was one of my favorites. In fact, I always thought I could attain a physique like Barry Demey's. Because I thought, he's a similar height, 6 foot, 6'1", as you can see, with pretty much the same height.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah,
I'm 6 foot tall, and I just thought, because really he now is what they say the classic class
supposed to be.
Yeah, because they say that Chris Bumstead is really the closest thing to Barry Demey. Yeah, that kind of the aesthetics and the amount of mass and. But we'll come back to Barry obviously when we interview him. But he was one of my absolute bodybuilding heroes, and he was the one I wanted to look like.
It was.
Yeah. Who was yours?
Who would you have, Barry Demey or Bob Paris?
In what?
Yeah, who was the best in your eyes?
Oh, Barry.
Barry Demey, Gary Stridham.
Gary Stridham was awesome. As you can see, it ties in nicely with the. I see what you're doing. Yeah. The WWF referee. Gary Stridham, fantastic. And why are we talking about Gary Stridham?
Who was best?
Oh, who was best?
Yeah, Barry Demey or Gary Stridham? Because I asked at my gym and old timer. You're not that old.
Yeah.
But I asked the old timer.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
And he couldn't give me an answer. He wasn't sure.
Oh, really? Oh, I think Gary Stridham statistically did better as a bodybuilder. I mean, certainly in the WBF when they went, that was in 1991 and 1992. In fact...
I wonder if that was rigged.
Well, no, he did look the best the first year. Gary Stridham was definitely the best.
Okay.
I remember I was 15 years old and I was at a Sean Ray seminar in London, and I had VIP tickets. Me and my training partner caught the train from Wales across to London. And I remember, and I had actually had a tape recorder, and I was recording this, and I asked Sean Ray, and I said, who do you think, because that was when Dorian Yates got second at the Olympia to Lee Haney, and 1991, and Gary Stridham won the WBF. Yeah. And I asked him, who would win out of this new guy, Dorian Yates, and Gary Stridham, based upon how he looked at the WBF? And Sean Ray said, I think Gary Stridham would have been second. So he thinks Gary Stridham would have beat Dorian.
You think so?
No, I don't think so, but Sean Ray thought so.
Oh, but Sean Ray was never a super fan of Dorian's physique, though.
And do you know what he also said about Sean Ray said about Dorian Yates?
No.
This was in 1991, bearing in mind, because that was the year Sean Ray took 5th place.
Yeah.
And Dorian stormed into 2nd place and actually won the prejudging. He was leading over Lee Haney, who won his 8th Olympia that time. And he said, that Dorian Yates guy, he says, I got a feeling that guy's going to be a real thorn in my side. That's what he said. I swear to God, that's what he said.
He said it?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Well, yeah, he was right about that, huh?
So anyway, we're very much looking forward to having Barry on the show.
Yeah.
And but if you can get a picture down, Chris, and stop texting.
So we...
He texted.
I'm doing some research for you here.
No, you're not. You're texting.
No, I'm not.
You're texting?
Puerto Rico, basically.
You're still on that?
What's it saying on your phone? Red Tube? Is that Red Tube?
No. Easy, Tiger. So, Puerto Rico, for those who want to know.
Okay.
Is,
I'll let you off.
Just part of the...
Oh, there's Curacao there, look, on the top. Next to Montenegro.
There's Jamaica, by the way. But anyway, was it on...
So, Puerto Rico's just a small little island.
I know where it is, but is it part of America?
It's complicated.
Is that next to Montenegro?
So Puerto Rico, since 1917, has had free movement of its peoples to the US states. However, it is not a US state and doesn't have a vote.
Okay. Oh, Dominican Republic. That's where Victor Martinez is from.
Bit of education for you there. There you go. Bit of geography.
Fantastic.
Always aim to please on the Global Muscle Radio.
Cuba. Oh, Dominican Republic. Oh, that reminds me. Victor Martinez.
Yeah.
He's going to come on the show.
Oh.
Yes, he messaged me back, but just after I booked the guests for this episode and next episode. So, because I believe that this is right. Victor Martinez is supposed to be doing...
We shouldn't give spoilers. You've never done that before. And this is the first time.
I believe in Victor Martinez.
Oh, man. So he got overlooked. But we just had a show, by the way.
Hang on a second. Victor Martinez is supposed to be doing the Arnold Brazil this weekend. Today I looked on his Instagram and there's a picture of him with some friends and he's out for brunch. does that mean that he's not doing the Arnold Brazil now? If he's out for food with friends, what do you think?
Was it? What type of food were they eating?
I don't know. He just pictured with friends. I'm thinking, well, surely you wouldn't be hanging out with friends, going out for food for brunch.
Do you think the Arnold Brazil is even going to be?
What? I don't know.
You think what's going on?
There's a lot of uncertainty.
I saw a picture of Beck. Is he still in Africa?
Is he just chilling with his mates?
Do you remember that picture with the bear? John saw Beck with a bear in his prep.
It's like, as I said to AJ, I said, "What is he doing? Is he competing or what?"
I asked him.
Sat round a campfire having a beer.
I asked him on Instagram, Beck, are you 100% on fire this year?
Do you call him Bieki or Lionel?
I call him Lionel the Lion Becky.
Didn't you keep calling Phil Heath? Didn't he? Who was he calling by his last name? You kept calling Tony Freeman Tony Freeman. So then Tony Freeman.
But you give it when you
Sir Tony.
What happened to his son, by the way? Classic.
Yeah, he was supposed to do the Arnold Classic. He did. Stop it. Stop giggling. No, he was supposed to compete.
I know.
Stop it.
He didn't show up.
No, he didn't. Cut. Sorry. Yeah, no, he did. He was supposed to compete. Why am I laughing?
I don't know.
This podcast is sponsored by High-Tech Pharmaceuticals.
I got cramp in my arms now. I get cramp in my arms.
Because
You'll be back shortly.
Anyway,
we were so hyped about it.
Back to your Aquaman work.
He was supposed to do the show naturally and everything, and remember? He didn't show up. I don't know.
Oh, stop it. We're laughing at something earlier.
Should we cut to a break, Giles?
No. It's funny. I'm crying.
Sorry. Also, anyway, talking of uncertainty, do you think Sean Roden will actually compete this year? Come on.
Why would you ask me that?
No, seriously, do you think?
Okay, back to this.
I've got a theory.
So you texted me the other day and asked AJ, you think Sean Roden will compete this? Sorry, man. This is bad.
Sorry, this is really bad.
Oh no, this is bad. We gotta
be serious.
We gotta be more seriously. No. Okay, back to the point. So you asked me what?
Do you think he will?
Yes.
Why?
Because first of all, why you asking me if Sean Roden is going to compete this year?
Honestly, look at them. He's not really done any interviews. He's pulled out of guest posings and competitive shows and stuff. And then, to be honest, up till a few days ago, I actually saw some pictures of him training at FIBO, and he's actually looking quite big again. So a few days ago, I honestly felt that he was not going to, because sometimes when it's like when
you see how Phil Heath looked in FIBO?
Yeah, he's looking good, looking big. But when we saw Nathan D'Asher at his gym, this was at the end of last episode.
Yeah,
Nathan said to us, because he was showing us his business plans and he's got his gym, it looks fantastic, and he was telling us his future business plans, all the things he wants to do and get into like event promotion and all sorts of things. And he said, I'm going to do another 5 to 6 years of bodybuilding, and I want to be done really by the time I'm 40. I want to be all done. He says, I want to win the Olympia. He said, but if I win the Olympia, that will be my last year. He says I might potentially do another year after that, but he doesn't want to be like a 4 or 5 to Mr. Olympia. He said, I would happily win the Olympia and then call it a day because I've accomplished everything I want to accomplish. So then it got me thinking about Sean Roden, and I thought, well, maybe he's just got to that part. The thing is, he can't really retire on stage when he's won it. Like the girl, the Ryle Graber. Yeah, she won the fitness at the Arnold Classic in Columbus and Australia.
Yeah.
And she said on stage to Arnold, she said, right, that's it. I'm done. I've done 46 pro shows and I'm going to call it a day. Because really, once you've reached that top, really, it's only a matter of kind of repeating that win. I remember hearing when Dorian Yates, the morning after he won the Mr. Olympia in 1992 in Helsinki, his wife Debbie couldn't find him. She looked out, she was looking for him, and she found him by the side, sat by the pool, and his legs were dangling in the water. And she said, Dorian, you look so kind of somber. And he says,
accomplish everything.
I've won the Olympia. He says, what do I've kind of, this thing I've been chasing for these many years. He says, finally, I've won it. And then obviously he kind of regrouped and thought, well, now I can come back. I want to come back better. But so my point is, do you think Sean Roden is just going to not compete again? Do you think, honestly, that's a serious question.
No. I was a little bit...
He's 44 now.
I was a little bit worried that we've seen no interviews.
Yeah.
Obviously, we asked him.
Mm-hmm. Well, in fairness, we did shake on it at the Arnold Classic. I have messaged him several times. He's messaged me back once or twice saying, yes, let's do it. Contacted me after this date. I've contacted him after that date, and then the kind of trail goes cold again. So I've probably reached out to him probably 5 times now.
But so people are just not saying, oh, they're just sad because he's not on their show. Well, I'm just saying he hasn't been on any show.
Yeah, I question why
he's done one. I think he's done one with our Acito. Remember after he won,
right,
on the other station, right after he won.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
I find that strange. He's Mr. Olympia. You think? I think even if
strange,
because you know that for that full year you've got your reign as Mr. Olympia. Would you not want to make the most of it?
It's just so. But so the people have not seen him. To be fair, people in England who were at the what's it called, the seminar,
the UK tour, yeah,
they were very pleased with Roden.
Yeah, they said it was great.
He said it was great. He said he took his time, shook everybody's, spoke to them for the dictator Kazal.
Yes,
he said he talked to him for like an hour.
Okay,
after the seminar.
Okay.
So obviously he's a very good man when you get to him alone, or like when you.
But the thing is, the fans want to see that,
but we don't see him, and he looked, as you said. But to be fair, last Olympia, when we saw him, and Ron Harris and Tim Gardner were bigger than him, and I was like, "What is going on here?" And then he came at Olympia and killed it.
Yeah, but
that was like 3-4 months. Remember?
Yeah, but I remember Luke Sando said he saw like videos of Sean even 5-6 weeks out for the Olympia, and he thought this guy ain't going to pull it round in time. And of course he did. He looked absolutely fantastic.
So now he started training.
Yes, but I'm going to people who write him off, Kevin Levrone. Kevin Levrone every single year. Now, don't forget, I've been following the sport since 1990. From 92 onwards, when Kevin Levrone was a pro, right up till 2003 when he retired. Every single year, he would go down to like a normal-sized guy.
But all this size, normal size, that's okay. Well, obviously, if in a perfect world, I prefer it when they're looking like Dorian in the offseason, huge.
Yeah, I think. Do you know?
I know it's over. That times are gone. I know.
Why do you think that is?
Now it's also because you want to. It's a lot of talk about the waist, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you do that off season, that shouldn't be. No,
I don't think that's it. I think. Do you think it's health? Do you think these guys just don't want to get to 300? Do you think they realize that they don't actually have to?
Samson down bragged about he was 300 pounds.
Yeah, but he looks... Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's still a thing to be like... But Antoine Vaillant, who we hope to get sometime in the future, he said... So there's still that 300-pound mark. He's still a macho.
But no, like the way that... Do you remember that year at FIBA when Victor Richards came on and there was Lou Ferrigno? Yeah.
Chris, what a...
Dorian Yates, Paul Dillette, they all came on at FIBA and they were like... They just look... You don't see that off-season look anymore. And to be honest, you don't really see a lot of pros even guest posing in the off-season anymore.
The best thing to get Sean Ray and Bob Ciccarello wound up on the forums is talk about how good Victor Richards is.
He did
not compete. He did not compete.
No, I'm on that train as well.
Yeah, I know. He won his... for people at home, Victor Richards, one of the biggest freaks of all time. You can see him in Battle for Olympia 88.
1988, Battle for Gold.
Yeah, Battle for Gold, yeah.
He was awesome, but he never competed. So.
He was awesome. One of the first freak.
And if you say he's an uncrowned Mr. Olympia, I'm going to throw this on your head.
And notice one thing: you see the water in there. Look, it's not porn. It's nothing in it. You see, it's just trend. You see, super.
So it's a good Aquaman mug.
Yeah. So he won his pro card in Nigeria.
Yeah, I remember seeing those pictures, and everyone was like 130 pounds, and then he wandered on stage.
Because in those days, to turn pro in America, that was a battle.
Yeah.
That was a battle.
Somebody put some pictures up of Matt Mendenhall.
Ooh.
And there was a guy, as an example, like Edgar Fletcher, of two guys that never got to turn pro that was so good.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's like, I think it's gone too far the other way. I think there's too many pro cards given.
You think so?
Oh, come on.
Too many.
Yeah, it's too many. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And still hard to get one though.
Yeah.
Look at Jamie the Giant. He had to go. Was it 6 tries?
Yeah.
He got second place.
It was second, and then he was and he was winning in height class, or he was coming second, and and he had to do like I think it was 4 or 5 shows. I mean, we'll maybe talk to him later on in this show.
One thing that we got to be better at. That we got to listen to the criticism. Sometimes we talk about things, then we jump to another. We were back at Roldan, weren't we?
Yeah, no, it's good. I like that.
Okay, we like it.
I know we've got to move it along.
Okay.
And in fact, actually, if you see me glancing, I do actually have notes for this one because we do 2 episodes over 2 days. And I always find that because on the Sunday I'll really prep for this episode for the intro. But you know what? Every single time we do the so it would be the even number, so episode 16. These are the ones that I never prep for, and I always prefer those.
Sean Roden.
So
why doesn't he do any interviews? Why doesn't he? What's going on?
Maybe he's because honestly, up until about Thursday, what day is it now? Well, up to a couple of days ago, I thought, I don't think he's going to compete.
No, but then you saw him in Berlin and he was training.
And then he was training and he had a T-shirt on because he's with his new sponsor, Olympia.
And the size is coming back.
He was doing, in fact, it's a good exercise I'm going to try, actually. It was like a cable row where he lies parallel and then he does, like cable hammer curls. And you could see, I was like, he's looking big. And there was a picture in a white T-shirt stood next to... Who was he stood next to? Was it not Phil? There was a few top pros, and it looked like he had some padding on or something. I was thinking, now is that padding? And then I saw him in another picture, and he looks big. He looks good, really good.
Okay,
really good. So he obviously gets the size back like that.
Quick.
Yeah, and he knows what he's doing.
But still, why doesn't he do any interviews?
I don't know.
Or radios, like...
I know. Why would he not come on? I'd love to get him on this show because I every time I speak to him, I get a really good feeling from him, and I just think we'd have a really good time. It's
because it's important when you say something, Giles. When you say he said it, I heard it. He said it.
We shook hands on it.
Not about that. He said before. He said Phil Heath is not a good representative.
Why?
Sean Roden said it.
But why did he say that?
He said it in Jay Cutler TV.
Yeah, I saw it.
2 months before Olympia, wasn't it?
Yep.
He said he wasn't a good representative.
Yeah, but why
I don't think he gave a proper reason, did he?
Did he say because he feels he hasn't done enough for the sport?
He just hasn't done enough for the sport.
So really, it makes him look a little bit hypocritical, doesn't it?
So if you say that, then you got to be really, really, what can I say, mindful of how your reign is.
Yes.
So that's why I'm asking.
He's kind of just chilled out for a few months, isn't he? He's just kind of done his own thing. And
he had a show in the Philippines.
Yeah, which Sibu Sisu Katelo won.
Yeah.
Who was on our episode a few weeks ago.
And he's helped Sibu a lot.
Yeah, Sibu Sisu talks really highly of Sean.
But that's one person. That's not. No, I'm not saying there's probably many more people he's helped. Yeah. But I'm saying as a representative,
but surely if
we gotta have more. We gotta get on. Yeah,
but AJ, let's be fair. He's not gonna win 10 Olympias. Sean Roden is not going to be a 10-time Mr. Olympia.
Not with his age, no.
No. So if he wins 1, if you think, okay, I'm going to win, most people, the consensus is he could probably win another 1. So if you got in the ballpark figure in your head that he could win 2, possibly 3, you'd think, okay, well, I really want to make as much opportunity here to really, I'm going to make the most of this. I'm kind of not going to go and chill for 6 months and do no interviews or nothing. I think now, especially now he's back training and he is looking big again, I think he really needs to ramp up his promo.
All I need is that he's got in people's minds.
Yeah.
He has when peak perfect, like when he's speaking perfect.
Yeah.
He looks the best.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Some people say, The only thing we have only seen it once.
True.
So some people say also 2015.
Yes, when he took he was second place. Was he third?
He was third to Dexter.
Yeah, and he was third in 2012 as well.
Yeah. But in 15, some people say he looked better then.
Well, Nathan Diashe said that, didn't he?
Yeah, and some other people too.
I'm sure Nathan Diashe said that, and he said, no, I think he looked better when he was 2000, he was a bit fuller and a bit, but thing is, and then I said, well, no, he was more refined and more detailed and more musculature. Because I mean, I was there, everything was so detailed. It was an amazing look, an absolutely amazing look.
But it's hard to say how many he's gonna get because how many times have we seen? This is the first time he nailed it. Well, and 2015. Yeah. So he's not. You can't rely on it. It's gonna peak perfect every time when he's.
Yes.
Because he's been a pro since 2009. How long has he been a pro?
In fact, you know, it was around about 2010 because he had 10 ways. He was a pro, and then he had a few years away. Then he had some personal problems, and then he came back to it in 2000. I think it was 2010 North American.
Was he amateur then when he had his personal problems?
Yes, but he won. I think he won the 2010 North Americans.
Yeah.
And then I was actually in Dallas for the 2012. Oh. And that was when, because in 2011. In the 2011, he didn't even make top 10 at the Olympia. 2012, because I was there. Why was I there? I was there with the Gasp. They were doing their groundbreaking, the clothing company. I was out there as a guest of theirs with my friend Simon Fan and my friend Crystal, and we were all out there together. And
Simon Fan, you had a debate with?
Yes.
Simon Fan. No, that's not Simon Fan, is it?
No,
we talked about.
You've lost me now.
On Facebook when you had argument.
Oh no, God, no. We'll come back to that in a minute. Yeah, so I was out there, and I was there to really support Rowley, and Rowley ended up getting 4th. And it's funny because I went backstage to see Rowley, and I went running up to Rowley. I went, "Hey, Rowley, how you doing?"
He was like, "No."
Guess what? I'm here, and he was had his head in his hands, and he was crying. And you know when everyone just runs up and goes, "No, no, no," and you're like, "No, no, I know him. I know it's okay." And he was like, and I went out, and he looked really.
Who do you want to win Olympia, Winkler or Sean Roden? If you got to choose between them two.
Oh shit! I want to see Rowley back up after those two.
Who do you want to win the Olympia, Sean Roden or Roland Winkler?
I'd like to see a lot of one-time Olympias, so I will say Rowley. I still think Sean Roden can win again, but I would love to see Rowley return after, because I don't know how he's going to be feeling after that setback. 4th and then 3rd. 4th at the Arnold Columbus, 3rd at the Arnold Australia. I mean, those were disastrous showings for him. I don't think he even deserved 4th and 3rd. No, he did not. Let's just not get onto that. Now. But my point is, I still believe he's good enough to win the Olympia. I saw him at the Olympia last year. He was fantastic.
Would you have him beating Phil Heath last year?
Yes.
Would you have Bonnack beating Phil Heath in 2017?
Yes.
So Phil Heath, if you're listening to this is the second time. No, but okay. No, it's just that we didn't see Rowley Winkler compared to Phil Heath last year, did we?
No, but thing is,
the judges didn't compare them.
Rowley looked really good on the Saturday.
Fantastic.
Really good on the Saturday.
So did Big Ramy, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
In the finals.
Yes, he really pulled it. In fact, I to be honest, I don't think I've ever seen such a big change.
Oh, he was killing the second lineup.
Unbelievable. I mean, the first day it was like, oh no. Everyone was just like, it was like a real kind of, everyone drew breath. It was like,
Bader left the building.
Yeah, he was pissed off. Yeah, he was upset. I mean, obviously because that's his number one guy, you know. Yeah.
But now it's Brandon Curry's number one guy.
Now it's Brandon Curry and Rowley. But you know, obviously,
still Brandon Curry's number one now.
Do you think Brandon will win the Olympia?
I think he's in the. First of all, now we're not sure if Phil Heath might do 2019. The plans are changed.
First call out at the Olympia, who is it?
If Phil Heath is doing it or no?
Not this year. Well, Phil Heath isn't doing the Olympia this year.
Who's in the first pictures in Germany in FIBO?
Yeah, he's looking good. He ain't doing the Olympia this year.
Okay, no, he's not.
Yeah, I could tell because
I know.
I could tell by your eyebrows.
Because I would know.
You would know because you're best mates with Phil.
No, obviously we. So it's obvious. Everybody knows, don't we? No, everybody doesn't.
Who's in the
know.
center?
First call out. So it's Brandon Curry. Sean Roden is in the center. Well, you never know.
Come on, think about it.
So it's
decide
4 people this year.
Okay, where have you got Ramy? Do you think they can pull it round?
This is such a big question that we have to think about this a little bit.
I bet you've thought about this so
many times. So Brandon Curry, Big Ramy, Sean Roden.
Yeah. Where's Bonnack and Rowley?
Rowley Winkler.
What about Dexter?
What about Bonnack and what about,
Yeah.
So it's wide open, huh?
Yeah. I've got a feeling it could literally come down to Brandon and Sean Roden.
And Ramy.
And I think Rowley and Ramy will be fighting it out for 3rd. I do. No, I really do. And I think Bonnack Bonnack will be... I think he'll always be top 5, top 6. I don't think anything, unless he injures something or something goes badly wrong in his physique, I don't see him ever slipping out of the top 6 until he retires. I really don't. I think he's that good.
By the way, we forgot. There's been a show.
Indy Pro, yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yep. Who won that one?
Indy Pro.
Steve Kukla.
The main man, Steve Kukla.
Yeah, I like Steve. What do you think?
What do you think?
Well, he looked a lot better than he did at the Arnold Columbus. The Arnold Columbus, he looked good. He did look very good. But like there was something weird going on his abs. His abs looked really shallow. I don't know whether he had, I don't know what it was. But he fixed it. And he came in fuller, harder. And he is such a big guy. He's so full and thick.
In Indie Pro, all the bettings were that Luke's going to win based on Arnold Classic.
Yep.
Because that was the same lineup.
Luke Sando.
Akeem was in which place did he get Arnold? 10?
Oh, he was ninth.
Ninth place?
No, he was eight. Yeah, he was ninth place at the Arnold Classic. It was 265. Yeah. And I said to him at breakfast the next day, I said, you need to shift. You need to be close to 250.
Kuklo was sixth at the Arnold Classic Ohio?
I've forgot. My mind's gone blank now. He was fifth or sixth.
I don't think he was fifth.
Okay, sixth then. He was top six.
Yeah.
He was top six.
Luke was a solid third.
Yes.
At the Arnold Classic Ohio.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Yeah. That was no fluke for Luke.
Oh no. Okay, so people had Luke winning going in.
Yeah. A lot of people did.
People had Akeem. I thought he was dissing us over there. Are you okay, Chris?
He's just looking at porn.
You're very into that erotic.
You can look on my search history because you always use my laptop when you're at my place. So
there's
nothing on there.
And people had like, if Akeem could come in dialed in, he could win.
Yep.
People had as Kuklo as the small shows.
Yeah.
In America.
Yeah. Come on, focus now.
It's the Kuklo.
The Kuklo show.
So people had him winning. Also, but Kuklo is a great competitor.
Yeah.
But he has a way of winning these shows and going to the Olympia. Kuklo.
Yeah.
You notice it?
Yeah. What? Did you have Akeem winning?
He beat Esa Obiad close, remember? Now he beat Beke, who wasn't even close.
Okay.
Here he beat Akeem, I thought it was close, but people on social, we can't go to social media as a way of seeing because a lot of them don't know what they're looking at.
Okay.
But there hasn't been a lot of outcry, with the Kuklo win.
No.
So
Akeem looked good though, but I think he can still get sharper.
Who did you have in, Akeem or Kuklo?
Probably
we weren't there, so it's hard.
Kuklo, because Akeem can still get sharper. He was a lot sharper, and when you see the videos, because you're wowed by his structure. When I actually looked at some of the photos up close, he was sharper, but he still needs to get bloody sharper.
And what's so funny about bodybuilding is that the other day we were like, Akeem, the biggest man in stage by far at the Arnold. Remember, we were like, he's a free.
Yeah,
Kuklo was bigger than him.
He was. And also going back to our friend the Dictator, I was a bit shocked. He said Hassan Mustafa should have won the Indy.
Okay, so we hyped Hassan before going in.
Fantastic.
We had him. We expected him to be in the top 4.
Yeah, fully.
He got a third.
Yep, very good.
But we also said we got to look at the structure and the waist hair and to see what we got to see him compared.
It's not a body part contest because at the end of the day, and then Dictator and a couple other people said, well, it doesn't matter about the midsection. No one seems to care about it. It's like, well, I care about it. For me, it completely spoils the picture. Now, if Rowley in 2016 Body Power show can bring his waist in, if these other pros can, I can't think of anyone else but Rowley, but it's done it that well, actually. No, that's successfully.
Yes, you have.
Well, it's really brought... Who else?
Even better. Come on, think hard now.
No, come on. You can
use your brain now. Use your power.
Who has brought their waist in?
Who had the huge waist and it came back looking sweet as a men's physique guy?
I can't think.
Ben Pakulski.
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh, when he
remember he did a comeback show and the gut was completely gone and the waist was perfect. And he retired after that.
Right. Okay. Because he said he went back to like a normal size and then worked his way back up again. And
I don't know how he did.
Also, in fact, I've got the latest edition of MD. My partner Rosie, she has a column in there called Ask the Rascal, and she was talking about bubble guts. She was talking about stomachs, why that happens. And she was talking, saying in the as a hypothesis that it's hydrochloric acid in the stomach created by certain dietary effects, and which can create the. So it's not like, oh well, it's growth, because I've spoke to 2 very, very good British pros. This was a few years ago, and they said to me, and I said, when this was probably about 10 years ago, and they were talking about the whole stomach issue. And this is what one said to me. I won't mention his name. And he said, Giles, he says, when I prep for a contest, he says, I never take, if I ever go over 4 IU of growth hormone a day, He says, my stomach starts to go. The other good pro said, if I take over 3 IU of growth hormone a day, he says, straight away, my stomach starts to grow. So, you know, some say it's growth, some say it's food, some say it's carbing up, some say it's carbing up with insulin. And Rosie, my partner, she's saying that it could be like a buildup of, sort of bacteria in the gut and stuff. So there's various reasons. So if Hassan Mustafa, some people say it's to do with heavy compounds, heavy deadlifting, heavy squatting, that, you know, you can train around.
Chris, can we get him up on the screen for people at home?
Yeah,
people
Hassan
he's
Mustafa.
not a very, people haven't heard of him before. Yeah. He made his debut, was his debut?
Yes, it's pro debut, yeah.
This is his pro debut. He's from, he's getting prepped in Kuwait.
I believe so, yeah.
I'm not exactly sure.
It's just if he could bring that midsection in, he's gonna.
Hassan Mustafa, IFBB Pro. You probably.
I wonder how far he is off 212. Because, his midsection doesn't look too bad there. It doesn't look too bad.
Maybe we can, if you're right.
I mean, look at the thickness in his arms, and his legs. It just, look at that. I mean, he's got a good genetic shape. It looks like.
If you're right, and Indie Pro.
No, that's right.
Yeah, maybe you've seen it on stage. Indie Pro, yeah.
I mean, the side chest, it's just those front shots. The thing is, if Ramy can bring
nothing comes up?
AJ.
Yeah.
If Ramy could bring his waist in, and if this guy can as well, I mean, those two guys could, 24. He's 24 years old. I had no idea. He was that young. Oh, shit, that changes everything. Shit.
In what way?
Well, it's just... Well, yeah, it doesn't change anything, but... I mean, if he's that good at 24, that's amazing. That is amazing. 24
No,
years old.
But that's the beauty of bodybuilding, though. What's it called? The Dictator had him winning.
No, I didn't see that one.
You didn't have him in third, did you?
No. I would have had... I probably would have him 1 or 2 spots lower than that.
Based on the structural...
Yeah, just the structure. But, I mean, he's got insane potential. And like I said, if he can bring that waistline in, it's like Ramy won't make top 3 again unless he brings that waist in.
Ramy?
No, he won't. He won't be top 3 unless he can bring that waist in, because that spoils his front poses.
You are not a Ramy fan.
Ramy is good. He could be a lot better. But he has to bring the waist in, and he has to sort those quads out. Otherwise, he's just going to keep slipping.
So in fourth, we have Luke Sandow.
Luke Sandow, yeah.
He probably very disappointed with that placing.
Yes, yeah. But he's locking it down now to the Olympia. He's not doing the British Grand Prix now.
No,
I've spoke to him, and he said, "No, I've got enough points to looks to be pretty much guaranteed a qualification for the Olympia." 5th place was Justin Rodriguez.
He could have been higher.
Really?
Can he switch places?
Do you know what? I've got to state this. When I saw the pictures of Justin at 8 weeks out, I didn't even recognize him. He looked that poor. And
he looked great on stage.
At 5 weeks out, I saw the pictures and I thought, oh no, what is he doing? He is no way going to be able to even look half decent for this contest, because he's left it too late. And I'm telling you, I know he took 5th place, which probably is very disappointing for Justin. And, you know, some people did have him a lot higher. Some people had him like 2nd. But I tell you what, he really brought it in. I just hope... I think if he keeps doing more shows and he really...
last year, 2017, he was feuding with Sergio Oliva Jr. And the way they were talking, Justin, and the way he's portrayed himself, that he's a top Mr. Olympia guy. That was how he was promoted in 2017.
Right, okay.
And then you're not happy with the 5th place at Indie Pro.
Yes, okay. Well, I saw him at the Arnold Classic last year, and he was 7th place there, and I thought he was fantastic. And then he just literally, every single show he did, he just faded. He just got worse and worse and worse and worse. We should have really just shut it down.
He switched, didn't he change his name from Justin to...
Lewis, yeah.
What's up? You remember that name
change?
Yeah,
because we were trying to find him on Instagram, and it's like I couldn't find him.
No, but I don't think he was happy with the 5th place, no.
No.
I think he wants a better... He's got higher goals for himself.
Yes. Okay, sorry, moving completely on to the next subject.
Yeah.
The Muscle Contest Ireland. That was on last weekend.
212 show in Ireland.
That was won by Bahrain's Sami Al-Haddad, 46 years old.
A good friend. Well, at least you used to be good friends with him, weren't you?
Yeah. I used to be in very close contact with him. And then he,
And then he... Yeah.
Well,
no, but you used to talk a lot more.
Yeah,
then.
we used to talk a lot. Yeah, but I've been to Norway with him.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been to Norway twice with him. He did, it was a non-IFBB show, and I was one of the judges.
Which country was this?
Norway, Oslo.
Which year was this?
Oh, 2009, possibly 2008, and I think I went 2010 as well. And with the pro show was in Oslo 2 years running. It was won by Samuel Haddad, then Daniel Toth.
Oh, Daniel Toth.
And then, oh God, who was the last guy?
I get happy each time you mention Daniel Toth in my inside. I don't know why you
happy inside.
Daniel Toth.
He was fantastic. He was
big, huge, freaky.
And and then the third year it was in Larvik.
Yeah.
Larvik.
But that's but those days of Norwegian bodybuilding are long gone.
I know, it's a shame, isn't it?
Long gone. There's no way to resurrect it.
No men's physique. It's just all men's physique now, isn't it?
Speaking of men's physique, there's a lot of drama in the bodybuilding world lately.
Yeah.
Oh.
With my main man, Jeremy Buendia.
Buendia, yeah.
So have you seen it? Have you heard what the story is going on?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay. So Jeremy Buendia made a video where he called out Dexter Jackson.
Wow.
He called out Antoine Volant.
Wow, that's so tough.
He called out somebody else.
Did he do it to their faces?
And then he also put himself in he put a picture of Luke Sandow's legs.
Okay.
Next to a men's physique legs.
Why?
Something about the condition, like kind of saying that Luke, that men's physique guys work as hard as Luke or whatever it was. The meaning, I don't know what the doubles, whatever it's supposed to mean.
Okay.
I saw it on Instagram.
Okay.
And it was it's like.
What's the reason behind that? Oh, I see the Sorry, Sorry, I've just completely zoned out.
So Jeremy Buendia has been going all in lately. What's your opinion on it? The way you say. Come on, man.
Do you know what I hate?
How many times have I asked you, can we...
I hate this mentality.
No, but how many times have I asked, can we please get on Jeremy? And you always say,
hate this.
no.
I hate this. Like, I'm going to get my point across by making a video. It's like, if you've got a real point to make, why don't you speak to them face to face? Why don't you get them in a studio and say, why doesn't somebody... Like Jeremy say, okay, then Luke, okay, let's get in a studio and let's talk about it. Let's have a proper one-to-one chat. Don't do a video about people and then they do a video in response and then people do videos in response to that. It's bollocks.
You saw the video with Jeremy?
No, I haven't seen it.
I posted it on the forums. You 10 posts to it.
I'd rather deep fry my own testicles than watch that.
Why are you so against Jeremy?
It's that mentality, that whole video thing. It's pathetic. It's clickbait bullshit.
No, he did.
It is. It's lame. No,
but he did the video not to get click. I don't know why he did it. But
why?
Okay, let me tell you. Okay, imagine Jeremy now. Okay. Imagine Jeremy. He's very, 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 very respected. No, come on. He's very Jeremy is a very respected man in Asia.
Okay.
He is. He's very respected against... Why are you laughing? He's very popular, bro. Seriously.
Okay.
In Norway, what can I say? Men's physique guys in Europe, they really, really like Jeremy Buendia.
Okay.
They really did. They really do. You're not taking it serious. Why are you not taking it?
Triple H.
No, but seriously. No. Because each time Jeremy Buendia enters this route, he doesn't get the respect from bodybuilders and hardcore bodybuilding fans.
Yeah.
But he has a huge following. Come on. You can see he can get frustrated.
Yeah.
Oh, man, Chris.
Come on, next subject.
He's not taking
I'd rather... Can we get that video of Rolly DJing?
Jeremy Buendia, if you're watching... I think you're a great representative for men's physique. Remember, he created the video.
No, I don't know. Do you know?
No, but seriously,
when he was winning the Olympia, when he was winning the Olympia, I just thought that is the perfect example of men's physique.
Let me ask you something. Before Jeremy Buendia, have you ever heard about men's physique? No. Other than my main man Mark Anthony, who's my swag.
Oh yeah, I like him. Yeah, he's cool.
But anyway, men's physique was a very, very, very class. It was like bikini, correct? All of a sudden, after his reign, men's physique is the biggest class in the world, correct?
Yeah, that's fair to say.
Don't you think he should get any respect for that?
Well, yeah, of course he has. He's got bloody Olympia titles and he's doing very well for himself, and I'm glad for him. And
I think
I'm struggling to see your point here, AJ. Struggling to see your point. What are you getting at?
We're getting at. I can see why he made the videos.
Right.
Because
I've not seen the video, so it's hard to discuss the context and the reason. It's just that whole.
He's frustrated, but exactly that reaction you just did just now. He wants more respect.
Okay.
And he took it in his own hand. It's not easy to call out all the guys like he did.
Okay. Okay. Chris, can we get some video of Rowley on the decks? I want to see.
Yeah, you want to?
Also, AJ, me and Chris, AJ,
I like you, bro.
Me and Chris would like to thank you for handling those hoodlums outside the studio 2 weeks ago. Chris, do you want to tell us about that?
Oh no, we don't want to. We don't want to promote violence.
No.
So for those who are watching in the States, the studio's based just outside the projects.
This is the British ghetto.
It's in the hood.
British ghetto.
Not as a ghetto as Nathan's from.
And it was around about 9:30 p.m.
That's the time we finished filming. Yeah.
And we're down at the bottom of a really dark road on an industrial estate. Not in the poshest part of the UK, but essentially I asked Giles and AJ to be my bodyguards for locking up at night to make sure that we could get home safely. And then Giles did his job perfectly. He stayed in the car, left the engine running, that kind of thing, whilst I'm locking up.
Just did that.
Just did that. But AJ decided to get out and start filming these guys. There was around about a dozen of them, maybe, youths.
Yeah, all baseball caps like you.
There was a little moped, a little motorbike, and they were drinking and shouting and making all kinds of noises. And
injecting. And
yeah, there was all kinds of stuff going on. So thanks, Giles, for doing what I asked. AJ, you just went over the top, mate.
I once did a tombstone Undertaker move on a guy in the street.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you? Why?
I was like 60. Let's get going. Okay, something else?
Yes. No, because, yeah. Okay, you want to change the subject? You don't want to go into this?
No.
It was very funny, mate.
No. Let's go.
Okay. No, I know that look.
All of a sudden, I go and get challenged by UFC fighters all the time. Then it's not going to be good.
Shout-outs. I'd like to give a shout-out to a bodybuilder called Lewis Breed.
Okay.
Lewis Breed, he last competed, before this recent time, in 2011, and I think he was 23 years old at the time, so he was literally just outside of the juniors, maybe still inside the juniors. He took third in the UKBF British finals in the heavyweights, and in fact, the picture, I actually put it in my MD Euro Muscle Scene column.
Used to love reading those.
Back in 2011. And honestly, I mean, this kid's quads, his conditioning, he's like... I can't, like a little Branch Warren almost. I mean, literally, like a fantastic physique. And he didn't compete for years. And he competed at the Ben Weider World Cup, the Two Bros Pro Show last weekend in, was it Watford, London, wasn't it? Watford last week. Yeah. And he won.
Which class?
He won the heavyweights.
What's his name?
Lewis Breed. Now, you see these pictures. Chris is going to get him up on the screen.
New pro? Now he's a pro now.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, so I think he's a pro, yeah. I would say. Let's just check his Instagram. But, I mean, you got to see this kid's physique. I mean, this is impressive. But he's probably around about 30, 31 now. So he's probably at the perfect age to really be turning pro. But have a look at this guy's physique. Are you on the...
You'll have to bear with me. Just keep on talking for a second. We're just lost internet connection. We're just pulling it back up.
Okay.
Give us a couple of minutes.
Bit of a technical issue there. Yes, so Lewis Breed... so he's won. So, yeah. Just trying to
it was a Ben Weider Cup. I was supposed to go.
Yeah.
But... I can talk about this in the next episode,
right? Okay.
Because then we can talk about a little more personal problems and other things. But anyways, because I had to go to, I tried to get my visa to go to America. Okay. So that's why I couldn't go to the Ben Weider Cup.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a good event, I heard.
Yeah. 420 competitors.
450. JT and Ian said.
Okay. Yeah, it was about I got 424, around mid-fours.
I love when Mr. T does this. I love, bro.
So you like every single picture he posts then?
I love...
We need a sound effect when he does it.
That's Justin T and Ian, the guys who run Bros to Pros.
All the media doing a good job.
They said 450 people.
That's brilliant.
Great classic winner.
Yeah, the classic class. Everyone was talking about the classic class. I mean, Arnold, is it Vosloo?
The Black Prince, I think. his nickname? What's his name though? We got to get these people's names.
I'll tell you, we'll bring this, like you said, we'll bring this up in the next episode, which we actually film tomorrow anyway. So we'll get it all ready tonight.
Don't ruin the.
No, but everyone knows how we film this show.
Okay.
You can't fly over from Norway every week, AJ.
Well, no.
So even if you had
I was going to say something now, but
yeah. So the classic guy. Yeah, the classic class was fantastic. So have we got any internet or?
Yeah, we'll pull it up now. Just one second.
Come on, Chris, you're getting slack, mate. Come on.
I still can't believe how he reacted to German Bundia, Chris.
Oh, come on, nothing new. I reacted.
Can't we get him on?
I reacted the way I did when I met him.
I think. Yeah, that's. Oh man, he's gonna. I hope he doesn't see this episode.
It was awkward.
Pictures on Lewis.
Yeah,
please.
look at this. Look at that. I mean, see what I mean?
Oh,
look at his condition. Oof. So this is a guy that hasn't competed.
Let me see that.
Yeah. This is a kid that hasn't competed for 8 years.
Who does it remind you of a little bit like, just like there?
Ian Valliere.
A little bit David Henry too.
David Henry. I think he's very Ian Valliere. I mean, this kid is serious. His kid is serious. He was, like I said, the last time he competed was the heavyweights in 2011. And I've been on this kid.
Look at that condition, man.
AJ. AJ, I've been on this kid's back. I'm saying, because he's had kids. And, and his life's good. And I thought, he's not going to compete again. And this kid is so good. And the thing is, he's had 8 years away. He's still only about 31. I mean, look at that.
So let me see a full picture. What's the improvements we're gonna do to make a dent in the pro leagues?
I don't. It's just, that's crazy. Absolutely.
Yeah, go
crazy.
that one.
He needs to sort that gyno out though.
It's a little distracting.
No, I don't like gyno. I don't like gyno.
What's
look at the quads. I mean, look at that is like Dorian Yates conditioning, isn't it? I mean, look at the on his back, on his legs, on his glutes, his lower back. It's literally he is shredded.
Wow, he prepped himself, or do you know his prep coach?
I don't know, but I was so pleased to see him back. I was so happy.
How tall is he?
He's not very tall. He's about, I would say, he's medium height.
Okay, so
5'8", 5'9". I may be shorter. I don't not know. But
5'9" is normal height and all in the IFBB Pro League. So.
Okay. Yeah.
The way you said it.
Well, no,
he's not that tall.
I've interviewed Lewis before, actually, Body Power maybe 7-8 years ago, and he's really good.
Well, look at that condition.
Yeah, fantastic. So there's a guy to watch out for in the Pro League.
Speaking of Branch Warren, Luke is looking closer and closer, like Branch in his peak every day.
Luke
Hollingshead.
Oh, James Hollingshead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they were actually together in the because saw
the picture. Branch was hitting biceps shots, looking good.
Yeah. Also, I want to I've got to bring this up. Can you get that picture of Ron Harris up, please?
Oh,
we're gonna play a little AJ. We're gonna play a little game now.
Oh, what's it called?
It's called What Can You Spot? This is a picture of MD online editor. What can you spot? This you've got to look really carefully now. Just scroll down a bit, please, Chris. What can you see, AJ?
Something in his ass, ain't it?
Yeah, could you zoom in on his right arse cheek, glute, please, Chris? Do you know what that is? AJ, for the audio listeners, can you describe what you're seeing?
So now we're seeing the editor at Muscular Development, Ron Harris, who used to compete a lot back in
2013.
Was his last show?
Like myself.
Yeah. And he's wearing a thong, of course, and he's got something in his ass.
Yes. Do you know what that is?
Looks like
that's his pager, his beeper. That's his beeper because he said he didn't want to leave it backstage just in case it got stolen.
No, you can't be serious.
No, I'm serious.
It's April Fool's.
I'm no. I swear on.
So Ron Harris posed with a pager in his ass.
Imagine what if it fell out?
So he won't get stolen.
I remember
a pager cost what, $5?
I remember yeah. It reminds me that that was another time.
Seriously,
he went on stage.
Ron, bro,
in his trunk. I said most people stick a pair of socks down their trunks.
But he put it the other way around.
So I said to Ron on MD, I said, Ron, you are going to get some shit for that.
I don't want to call them out, but there's some guys, legends, who was putting shit in their pants.
Really?
Socks, as you said.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, we don't want to call it.
Hey, AJ, it gets cold up there, man.
Yeah, but we don't want to. So she's got a
don't
pager in his ass.
What if someone's trying to contact him?
Ron Harris. Well, is this serious? Yeah. It's photoshopped.
It's a good job he didn't have one of those old style mobile phones.
Photoshopped.
It's not, I swear to God.
Of course it's photoshopped.
It's not photoshopped.
Come on. Of course it is. Giles, he doesn't have a pager in his thong.
Hey, Chris, can we quickly switch to, before I get fired, to Rolly Winkler's Instagram, please? I want to show a little. I want to show some of Rolly's recent moves, and this is what happens when a guy's not on prep. This is how jolly he gets.
Ron Harris you just show Ron Harris with a pager in his ass.
In his ass. Yeah, so
yeah, but he's gonna do this.
He didn't want to get it stolen. I don't know.
No, come on.
I've seen people get stuff stolen backstage, you know, at shows.
So Ron Harris has a beeper in his arse, as they say in the hood.
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna do the comeback. He's gonna do the
thing is, AJ.
He's gonna do redemption. He's gonna do the comeback.
Careful. You've got to be careful what you leave lying backstage, just in case someone steals it. Isn't that right, AJ?
But listen, Rolly Winkler.
Yes, Rolly Winkler. That's not the right one. I think he's got more than 36 followers.
We got to give some shout outs. How long have we been on, Chris?
We need to wrap it up soon because our next guest is going to be on.
How long have we been on?
Yeah, I've looked.
Okay, we got to give our shout outs then.
We've got to, you do your shout outs and we'll wrap up very quickly.
Yeah, with the video at the end.
Yeah. So we've got the wrong. You got the wrong account.
You got the wrong account.
I'll tell you what. We'll leave this.
I've searched for Rolly Winkler. It doesn't seem to have an account.
He does have an interview.
I know he does.
I'll tell you what, we'll
put it in later.
Down.
We'll put it in the next episode.
Some shout-outs.
Yep, give you shout-outs then, AJ.
And one thing before I go to my shout-outs, Ron Harris, he's going to get redemption because he's doing the Masters Pro show now.
Yes, we need to, he needs to compete. He wants to compete. He's got, I know he's got some problems with his shoulder, but I'd love to see him compete again. I think he would, I think he'd love to do it, so. Would you love to see him get his pro cards? How great
Harris.
That would be.
It would be one of the true bodybuilding stories.
Yeah, and he just dropped the mic as he walks off stage with his pro
then
cards.
he'd start competing as a pro and do some damage in the masterclass.
Okay. Yeah, he could.
No, I think he would maybe retire.
I think he should get his pro card and retire and then just go, do you know what? That's something I've achieved and I'm very happy
If he wins it, he should decide what he wants to do, not us.
Yeah, okay. Well, it was just suggestions.
Okay, a shout out to...
Oh, look, his M&M's there and his chocolates.
Eminem is, by the way, a horrible rapper at the moment, by the way.
We're not talking about M&M. We're talking about M&M's the chocolates.
Oh, okay. I thought about Eminem the rapper.
Yeah, that's that one with the lockers. That's a good one.
If you go down...
That one, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I thought you want to see the hip-hop video.
Well, watch this. This is funny. This is Rolly Winkler. You got to listen to the music. We can't hear the music. Oh, okay. I mean, this is what Rolly gets up to when he's not dieting. He's chopping up a protein bar.
Look at them arms, bro.
He's huge, isn't he?
Looking good. Look at the shoulders.
He's in better condition there, was the Arnold Australia. Rolly, we believe in you. In fact, I put a message on his Instagram. I said, "Come on, Rolly."
Giles had some in his coffee today, huh?
Take this off.
Eat the Jordan.
You got to get the one of him DJing, and we're going to wrap up very quick because we've got our next guest 2 minutes ago.
Okay, we got to give some
go down. Where the DJ? Oh my god, he posts a lot, doesn't he? Go down. Loves his kids. No, I can't find it. We'll have to.
Some shout out. My first shout out is to
who's that?
That's a guy from Norway.
Muscle Brownie.
His real name is Mohammed.
Who is he?
Jami.
Wow, that's a name. Gumohamud. I can't even say that.
I always call him Muscle Brownie. So
Muscle Brownie.
Give me the name. How do you pronounce the name, Chris?
AJ, where's he from? Tell us about him.
So in Norway, it's hard doing something other than men's physique.
Okay.
And he's trying. If you go to his... look at his routine.
Is he from your gym?
No, he's not from my gym. But okay. I'll study everybody in Norway.
Right, okay.
So this guy is a great poser.
Yeah.
They're only allowed to do 1 minute of posing in Norway.
Okay.
So he's competing in classic bodybuilding, if I'm correct.
Yep.
And he's really hungry. And he's really dedicated.
Looks good.
And he's gonna be something to look out for.
Have you met him?
No.
Oh, you've not met him?
But we're talking all the time about bodybuilding, and he has many strong points.
Okay. What, like?
And he's like, what can I say? When you were younger, and like we're now, the opinions. He still has that. When he's 24,
Donald Trump on his.
I don't know why. Donald Trump, but
hey, you got a nice physique.
Yeah. Go all the way up.
Yeah, it looks good.
So he's trying to do some damage.
Yeah.
So he needs a shout out, and people follow him. and see his progress.
AJ, I hate to interrupt, but we're going to have to wrap this up and get our second guest on. First guest? Yes.
This is our first guest.
Yeah, first guest. Okay, then. That's it for the intro. So we'll be right back after this commercial break with our very special guest. Who will it be? We don't know.
Can we can say it?
No, because we're filming it in a funny order this week. So, it's actually it's Jamie the Giant, but we're gonna have Barry on.
I have a story when he comes on.
We're gonna have Barry on next, so we'll be you'll see this third. So
actually, we're gonna have Jamie on now.
We will be right back. If you want to have Jamie, we'll be right back after the break with Barry Demey, and we are out. Welcome back to Global Muscle Radio here at the Pump Media Studios, joined by my co-host AJ, all the way from Norway, looking cool as ever. And we are joined by one of my all-time bodybuilding heroes, Barry Demey. Wow. How you doing, Barry?
How are you guys doing?
Very good, Barry. And
yes.
Firstly, do you want to tell us where you are? Because you're not actually in Holland right now, are you?
Yeah, I see you guys with the jackets on and clothes, like warm clothes. I'm actually in Curacao right now, so for my holiday, and just enjoying it. But when you ask me to do this, of course I want to do it. I promised for a long time. But we're on right now. So we're here with my wife, my daughter Noella, enjoying the good life on the island of Rudy Winkler Island.
Yeah. Oh, Curacao, yeah, of course. So it's Dutch speaking, isn't it? It's Dutch language in Curacao, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of strange because I never went here, and I went to Spain and there are a lot of Dutch people, but actually all the people are speaking Dutch. So it's like we go to like another city in Holland, everybody's speaking Dutch. Yeah. So it's funny.
So you enjoying it?
Yeah, I really enjoy it. Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't even know where to start because I was just saying in the intro of the show, I was saying that when I was like 15 years old, my entire bedroom was filled with all the pictures from Flex magazine and MD, and I always remember I had a fold-out poster from Muscle and Fitness. It was a side chest. I think you were in front of a tree, and I always remember you were like you and Sean Ray and Kevin Laverne were like my three bodybuilding heroes. It was just, I think that year was, it was the iconic year, wasn't it? 1988, which was that was your kind of your best year as ever, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, it really was. Everything went well that year. I still believe because of all the mistakes that I made in '87, I consider it as my worst condition at the Olympia. But I always wrote down everything what I did as far as training, nutrition, and because of all the mistakes, I could learn of it, and the result was the condition in '88. My third place at the Olympia that year.
I mean, the first Olympia you ever did was in Gothenburg, wasn't it? In 1985. How old were you? You were this was in the days when all the guys, the top Olympia guys, were in their 20s, and now it seems to be their late 30s and early 40s. How old were you in 85?
85, I was 23.
23 years old. I mean, you had guys like Barry, you had Rich Gaspari, that was his first Olympia as well, wasn't it, 85?
Yeah, I always thought, I went to the US a couple of 2 months ago, and I was with Rich. He's still a good friend of me, and I always thought I was the youngest Olympia contender who placed in the finals. But actually, Rich Gaspari, he was 22 that year.
He was 22.
So, 22, and he really set a new standard as far as being ripped, striations in his glutes, the first one. So yeah, I wonder myself nowadays. It takes guys much longer. Of course, all the guys are looking different as well than back then. But we were really young at that time.
But sorry to keep going about. Even Lee Haney would have only been 25, and he was winning his second Olympia that year, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was in 85. He was only 25 years old. I think he was...
Well, he was 23 in 83, so add 2 years. He'd have been 25 years old.
Yeah, I can do that, Matt. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, AJ, I'm sure you want to introduce yourself. AJ wants to show you something.
Can you see on the camera?
What's that?
Get your glasses on.
AJ?
No, you can't see.
He's trying to show you something.
Yeah, show him and go down so you can see.
Oh,
so this is how popular you are in Norway. You're still in the gyms, in my gym, in Harold's gym. You're on the wall still.
Are there cracks actually on your phone or on that?
So
that's how popular. That's how much like your physique and your we still remember you to this day. That's how much of an impact you had on us all over the world. You know, so it's really an honor for me to speak to you because I've seen you a lot through I'm 35 now. Since I was 12, I've seen you on the DVDs. So it's an honor to talk to you, by the way.
Well, thank you. And as time passes by, it's getting more and more crazy that people because we're talking about 88. It's over 30 years ago. Yeah. And I do realize that nowadays, because bodybuilders are looking different, my generation, for some reason, they get more attention again. And I went with Giles. We met at the Olympia last year, and I think the bodybuilding is changing again a little bit. Even. The guys are having more fee structure again.
Barry, sorry to interrupt. Do you think that's because of the classic?
Actually, it's the demand of the general public. We have even hardcore bodybuilding fans. I hear them. I don't like to use the word complaining, but everybody's talking about the bellies and all those kind of things. Last year, the judges as well made a statement, to appreciate that type of bodybuilding again. So it's.
Sorry, do you think it's because? Do you think just because Sean Roden looked the best, or do you think they want to bring a more? Do you think because the rise of the classic is bringing more popularity back to bodybuilding?
If you want to have guys like you that they hang posters on the bedroom wall again, I think you need to have more appealing bodies, and there's so much more than into bodybuilding than just size. Yeah, and I think we went with the new generation. Now the bodybuilders, like even Brandon Curry at the last Arnold Classics. Now he won not because he had the best condition. I think William had even a little bit better condition, but he won because of his V shape, and it's the demand of the public. But the judges are making a statement by appreciating that again.
When do you think the shift really went from kind of like the guys in the 80s, like yourself, even like Rich Gaspari in 88 Olympia, when he brought his waist in that year, and the way he angled his physique, you could argue as a case that even Rich Gaspari was more classic, I mean, even Lee Haney was known for his tiny little wasp waist and that, the huge flaring lats. And, when do you think the shift really took a turn from being from classic to more kind of mass monster, where maybe popularity of the sport lessened?
Well, without saying what I like or don't like, Dorian was the first really huge guy on stage. There was I know Dorian for a long time, and Dorian has a very complete physique. Actually, he's really symmetrical as well. Yeah, but. He had set a new standard when he became second the year before the year that he won. I think Lee Haney realized, this is going to be a new generation. And at the time when Dorian won that Olympia, it was just all the other guys thought this is what we need to do. And, the result of that is not everybody keeps having a pleasant physique anymore. So, yeah, it's, as far as me personally, I would say with really, really big guys, I have like a love-hate relationship with it. I love it because I know what they have to do for it. But as far as appreciation for the physiques themselves, I appreciate the Frank saying that's of course an extreme example for like how proportions need to be. But that's what that's what attracted me to bodybuilding. The posing, the artistic side of bodybuilding, and that's the guys are getting bigger, but they are going back to the more symmetrical bodies again.
Yeah. What physiques do you like nowadays? Give me some names.
Physique. I really think it's a shame that Kai Green doesn't compete anymore.
Oh, really?
They asked me to be a judge for a long time, but I never agree with the judges. I mean, a lot of time I don't agree with the judges, and that has to do with the basic idea about how to judge and what bodybuilding is all about. And I think the last time it was in 2014 when Kai competed at the Olympia, was it? I think it was
2016 was his last Olympia. He did the Arnold Classic in 2016, but he didn't do the Olympia. I think 2014, might have been his last Olympia. Yeah.
But can I ask one question? When you saw this switch in the physiques back in the day, did you guys talk to the judges and ask what's going on here? Why is this switch all of a sudden come? And like, did you guys ask the judges what's going on? Why are we changing this look?
No, I asked because we saw what was going on. It added something extra, but in my opinion, not for the good. It was more like a circus, or more. It was more spectacular. If you look at last weekend in Germany we had the FIBO. If you see people lining up, they line up for the biggest guys, and not for the most symmetrical guys. So that's still what some kind of it's just if you go to a circus, you want to see freaky things as well, and so we never really asked for it. But again, now with the change, what is happening right now, it's now we see the guys like Brandon Curry and our new Mr. Olympia last year. They come in with big size and symmetrical body. So and we all think we all know that this has been a process that we had to go through, I guess. Yeah. To come back as far as Kai Green, if you ask me, if you strip off, first of all, if you ask somebody to make a drawing of like a cartoon strip hero, you actually draw Kai Green because he has the narrow. He got all the lines that goes well in shape, and although Phil Heath's like body part by body part, he might be like a little bit better, point by point. But if you strip off all his muscles, you got the narrow bone structure, and that's one of the things I in my opinion, bodybuilder has to be a perfect bodybuilder. In order to judge on this level, you have to be critical. Otherwise, you can't judge.
One thing I was always disappointed was because, the 88 Olympia was kind of regarded as your pinnacle year. That was the one that really kind of we all remember you for. I mean, look what he's got on his T-shirt. Demey 88.
Oh yeah.
See, this is his new training. We'll talk about his training system a little bit more in a moment. But I was always disappointed. Like, take the 1989 Olympian Rimini. I was always disappointed that you and Sean Ray were not in that contest. Can you tell us why that was?
Yes. First of all, in '88, I really was convinced I had everything together. And finally, after so many years of training, I really knew what to do in order to be better in '89. So I was really convinced by placing like third in the Olympia in '88. I really knew what to do to be maybe second or even the winner in '89 or in 1990. I was really convinced that I had the structure, and with the knowledge that I had and the experience, I knew what to do. But I always have been like a sport freak, and to me it was never really. People say, "Well, it was so difficult what you do; it's so hard to do." Well, I was just doing what I like to do, so it was not really hard. So when that third place in '88, that gave me so much inspiration. Right after the Olympia, I went to do guest posings. I went to China for a whole tour. And I made one mistake in '88 because I needed at least have given my body a rest for like 1 or 2 months.
Yeah.
But because I was so ready and anxious to go in '89 to make all my improvement, I didn't really stop. After touring and after that, I went January 1st straight into the gym, and I was really making those improvements in order to develop and place even higher than third. I was going so fast that in February '89 I had a pec tear.
Right.
Yeah, and that was to me, when I started bodybuilding, I really always thought like the perfect physique. And this picture of the perfect physique I had in my head, and knowing I knew that I was be able to do that, but of course, I competed again, but I needed to be a little bit bigger. I couldn't be that ripped anymore because even after a surgery, it fixed already. It was fixed pretty good.
It looked okay. It looked okay.
Yeah, it looked okay. But that's what you said right there. It looked okay. But in order to be Olympia, to me, 100%. After my pec tear, I never really believed in it anymore for myself.
Because when Francis Benfato ripped his pec, I mean, it did kind of completely spoil the whole physique, really, and he never really managed to progress much after that, even though the rest of his physique got better. But, so how did you rip your pec?
Because I was bench pressing, and I was making right away all the improvements, and I was doing bench pressing with, I think it was 200 kilogram, and like the second rep, and I just did it.
Oh no!
That was it. And maybe you remember, because maybe I go a little bit too far, back, but in early '90s you had Johnny Fuller competing.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes, he had a very bad pec tear.
He didn't have the most pleasing physique, and he had a pec tear. It didn't fix it, and it was like a nightmare for me. And that actually happened. My whole career, it went all straight through my head. So, yeah, I believe the way I'm judging, and I'm speaking about bodybuilding, about Kai Green, about who can win and what's the best physique. I knew I couldn't be 100% anymore, and if I can be 100%, that's what I thought at the time. I can win the Mr. Olympia. So that's the story of it.
Was the reason that you thought you couldn't win the Mr. Olympia the reason why you took the offer to go to the WBF when that was formed in 1991? It would have been the end of 1990 when they were approaching the bodybuilders, wasn't it? Because they approached people like yourself and Dorian and all these other, obviously a lot of Aaron Baker.
Can I ask one thing first? When this pec tear happened and you thought you could never win the Olympia, how did it affect you emotionally? Did something happen to you? Like, how did it affect you emotionally? How did you come through this pain, and what happened to you?
Well, I think that this is the right order to answer the questions. You know, AJ, that's the first thing I have to explain, because now that I'm older, 57, I realize you can put your whole life in put together as a puzzle. At the time, I didn't even realize how much impact it had on me emotionally. Somebody who's not into bodybuilding, they don't understand at all. But to me, bodybuilding, winning, going after the Mr. Olympia was my whole life. So when that happened, I basically could not really sit down like, okay, it's finished now. So I just placed third at the Olympia, and I still have to keep smiling, you know, to everybody, do interviews, everything. But I knew in the back of my head I was kind of destroyed, you know, really. And when the WBF came around, still I didn't recognize to myself, or didn't realize at the time how destroying it was for myself. Because when that happens, I kind of fool myself. So, you see, you know, nothing happens. There's a different career opportunity. But I knew I was only doing that because I wasn't believing in the Olympia anymore. And it was just basically for the money at that time.
So the money was a very good offer, wasn't it? Because I know a lot of the pros, they were offering big money to really entice them over. Tell us about how that whole WBF thing came around, how you approached, your feelings towards it, and what made you really decide to do it.
Well, like I said, I have to go one step back, because I was going to compete in 1990 again at the Olympia.
Yes, I remember.
There was the first drug test at Mr. Olympia. And I can tell you, if there was one guy clean on that stage, it was me.
Oh, really? Because you failed it, didn't you?
Except it was, you know, but that year, Ben Johnson, he was called at the Olympic, you know, at the Olympics.
It was Winstrol, wasn't it?
Winstrol, Sanderson.
Yeah.
That's what I thought to be from 18 months before. So, but, you know, so I was like suspended because of the failing the drug test.
Sorry, 1 second. It was you, Gary Stridham, Mohammed Benaziza. I'm trying to remember the names now. There was a good amount, because there was only 14 people in the 1990 Mr. Olympia, and there should have been there was 6 to 8 really good names that were disqualified.
What were you guys thinking when you heard the announcement it's going to be a drug-free Olympia? What were the guys? How was the drug tested? How was the people reacting? How were you guys reacting to this?
I think I was still in a roller coaster myself.
Right.
So. After so many years, I can actually say I'm glad. You know, I still have pictures me and Lee Haney the day after posing together. So.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I still have some comparison. So, but again, to me, I'm the type of person. I'm the type of guy. I don't do anything. I don't 99%. I don't do anything 100%. I do something 1,000% or nothing. So, you know, going into even if they would have allowed me to go on stage, I wasn't at my best. But then again, I was still on that roller coaster, trying emotionally to accept what happened to me. And then all of a sudden, so this was a new setback, and the second one again. Then Vince McMahon came along, you know, with the big paycheck. And that's when I kind of fooled myself and told myself, you see, this is my opportunity. I still can do everything. And but again, I wasn't really happy with it.
So tell us about what it was like, because I remember buying the Bodybuilding Lifestyles magazine, and the way they tried to market bodybuilding differently. They tried to take some of the ways that the wrestlers were marketed, and they tried, like with the themed routines when you came on stage with the surfboard. And I mean, are you a surfer? Do you surf? I remember you came on. No, that was Troy Zuccolotto.
I watched it yesterday, actually.
Oh, did you?
I thought it was very entertaining.
You liked it.
I liked it.
Do you like Danny Padilla and the mushrooms? The big...
No, it was you came in third, didn't you? It was in 90.
Right, yeah. Mike Christian was second. Gary Stridham was first.
Did you like the shows? Was it fun, or you think it was a little bit? How did you like it? How did you like it?
Again, it was just like an alternative for me, not to really stop immediately all the way and get the money, but I never compared it to the real sport where it's all about Frank Zane, Serge Nubret, all the Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was not about it. It was just that was a real circus. It was a real circus. So it's it could not be compared to anything that I was used to in the IFBB.
So you didn't see it like you did the IFBB and promote. You didn't even see it like a real competition. It was more like an exhibition.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's yeah.
So and obviously the second year they introduced drug testing to the WBF as well. So what was that like as well when they were kind of, because it was a real hot topic for a couple of years, and I just think like when Sean Ray got disqualified for the 1990 Arnold Classic, which he won, I still consider him a two-time Arnold Classic champion. You know, to have that $60,000 and that title ripped away from something that is an integral part of bodybuilding, and certainly the pro bodybuilding. What was that like for all the athletes? What was it like, for the athletes that were kind of doing contests? Because you were saying you were doing pictures with Lee Haney the day after the Olympia, because you were obviously prepping for the Olympia. I can't imagine what it must be like to prep for a contest. And then when were you told that you guys were disqualified?
It was even after the press conference.
Oh, really?
So
not like weeks before. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, come on. Imagine that. You're literally tanning up and they say, sorry, you're disqualified.
If you believe in destiny, afterwards, I'm glad that happened.
Oh, okay.
Because, I'm glad that it happened because I wasn't at my best. It wasn't really me. I was still in that roller coaster. And, it would have been a totally different story if I wouldn't have had my pec there and I was like going along with still that dream. But that wasn't the case anymore for me.
Yeah, so because I remember Gary Stridham, he was disqualified as well, but he ended up doing all the British Grand Prix tours and he won them all. So why did you not? Did you not want to consider doing the Grand Prix tour when you were in condition?
Actually, I did one in Holland.
Oh, you did? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I did. I know it was. I think I placed sixth.
Okay.
But but again, to me it was like for personally the WBF needed to be there for me to chapter the mental stage of bodybuilding, to step down and realize there was it. But you have to realize. Now I can sit back and can appreciate the 88 result. But back then, I was like hungry like a tiger, and I wanted to win the Olympia. Back then, it was like a different story. But again, now with my business, I'm happy that I actually placed third at the Olympia in my best condition ever. Yeah. So not business, commercially, I used 88. So.
Yeah, of course. So I mean, obviously, it was 1990. The Olympia, which you didn't do. The 1991, you did the 1992 WBF. You did very well in that as well. And then you did a couple of Night of Champions, didn't you? And then you kind of what was it really that made you? I mean, even though you had your rip pack and you didn't kind of feel the same way about your own physique. What was it that? What was the final deciding factor for you to call it a day competing?
I already could see that the new generation was stepping up.
The mass monsters.
Yeah. It was. You already could see the conditioning.
Yeah.
And I always like to say, I'm sure you understand if I say, I personally lost the eye of the tiger.
Right.
And for me, it was like, and it was just after 88, everything that I did after that was just a process for me personally to kind of accept the whole situation.
Yeah.
And, to close it entirely and be happy what my bodybuilding career was all about.
Because I remember when Leela Brady said the 1995 Arnold Classic, and he said, right, regardless of what happens, this is my last bodybuilding contest because I can see the way the sport is going. Dorian was kind of really, you know, he'd won 4 Olympias by 1995. And I think guys like yourself, Rich Gaspari was done after 1991. You know, he'd gone second, fourth, fifth, 10th. So he kind of saw where it was going. The body maybe was, you know, he ripped his pec as well.
How did you regain your eye of the tiger with your businesses and your new adventure? How did you find yourself again? Did something happen, or did you just...
Well, sorry to interrupt. After that, Barry, you went into photography, didn't you?
That's what I'm getting at.
Sorry.
All this.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I can tell you guys are used to each other because you ask one question that has to do with the other one.
Yeah. We've actually got the same brain.
Yeah. It's not really an headphone.
Yeah. It's this connection. No. Cerebro.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it is, if somebody is not into bodybuilding, they cannot understand how much somebody is driven to win the Olympia and the whole process to step back. So in order to really accept it all, I need to kind of not really reinvent myself, but to need to step back to look at it objectively. And the only way for me to do that, you know, I just told you I can't do anything 100%, I have to do something 1000%. So I never quit training. I always kept on training, but I went to school. I went to do something. I did an education. I got a master's degree in the photography academy of.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So, I've always thought, well, can I really do that on that high level of studying? Because and on the back of my hand, I never really liked it that I didn't finish my school because I was bodybuilding right away. So I graduated. My lowest figure was like a 9 out of 10. So I really, with the same kind of passion, I did something else. Mm-hmm. And that's what needed to happen to me in order to really be objective. There was a time when I took myself out of the bodybuilding world, in my own bodybuilding world, I needed to be out of there and to look at it in distance. And I never really quit training, and so I always kept training. Then I started to realize I could relevate, and I could put everything in perspective. And to realize, well, I had a really good career in bodybuilding, and I still like to training. And then I started my photography website, and actually met you in Holland, Giles. I think then I was in that kind of period. Do you remember?
Sorry, what's that?
I actually met you in Holland.
I was just leading to that now, actually, because this was the first ever video assignment I had for muscular development. They sent me to Rotterdam to film Rolly, and they said, when you're there, get as many videos as you can of Rolly and Sybil, interview them, film them, and then Robbie Lieven. Is it Lieven?
Yeah.
Robbie Lieven says, "Oh, Giles," he says, 3 o'clock today. He says, "I've got a little surprise for you." And I said, oh, "Okay, well, I'll be in the gym all day filming." And then Barry walks in, and he's there, because I was actually there. I was photographing as well, and he was giving me tips on photography, and it was really nice. In fact, a little story. It's funny, we were talking about Sybil, and we were talking about how she was very new to the industry, and you said, Giles, you put your arm around her, and you said, Giles, Sybil was training me 30 years ago. She's been doing this for years and years and years. And it was. I really appreciated you coming over. Actually, it was a real nice little surprise. So thank you for that.
For you now, it's easier to understand. You know, I never stopped training, but that was like doing fitness. That was actually the time that I was really into the photography, and that was the time that I actually started my photography website. But how could I have ever realized that people didn't come to me for photography? They come to me writing me emails how to train and how to do this and how to do that. And then all of a sudden, you know, to come to your question again, AJ, then all of a sudden, I had to put everything in perspective, and I had peace with the whole situation and everything. And then I realized, this is a fantastic sport, and people still, now they don't look at me, how I look, but they still want to know what I did. So then I started my supplement company, and that's same thing there. I couldn't do that 99%. That's what I'm doing 1,000%, and I really enjoying now, like training people. I'm not training that many people yet, but because of the demand is so high, because the guys that I train, I'm not going to brag about anything. I always say I can't sing, I can't dance, but there's one thing I can, and I can get everybody in shape, everybody, if they just do what I say.
Tell it.
And go ahead.
Sorry, tell us about what you're doing now, then, because obviously I've been doing a little bit of work with you, and we won't go into detail, but helping you with something you're working on now. Do you want to tell us about the next stage?
Yeah, you're checking my Dutch English now.
Yeah, I've been doing a little bit of work for Barry, so I've been helping him out.
Yeah. Well, it's a funny thing, In life, I always say, again, if you're 57, you should know where life is all about. And the main thing in life, where life is all about, is what you do. You have to like what you do. And of course, I'm really happy with my supplement business. It's doing all right, really doing well actually in Holland. But people all over the world, they're asking me, how can I train? And not just because I look great in '88, but also I still look, well, that's kind of weird that I say that myself, but I still manage to stay in a good shape nowadays.
When did you really start? Because I've been following your Instagram, and in this last 6 months to a year, you've really put the size back on. I mean, you're in really good shape at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, it's funny because I'm the online coaching. Well, that's where it's all about. I'm going to launch it in about 2 months. Last year, I knew I still needed some time because it's going to be really, really something different and special.
Yep.
But last year in June, I knew, well, I'm going to need about another year.
Okay.
And then I thought by myself, well, what's a better idea than just be in shape myself? So last year, I actually just started like a kind of a contest preparation.
Okay.
And I really expected to be in this kind of condition, that your body still responds as well. And of course nowadays the main thing and the goal is to be healthy. But a result of that is that you still look good.
That's what I'm amazed at, is how you've managed to rebuild a good. I mean, the size-wise, you've built most of your size back, haven't you? Obviously, your physique looks a little bit different, but I mean, how has your body responded training at 57 as it was to when you were like 25? What's really different? How do you train differently?
Well, it's funny that because we went through all the years, so people always they think about me as 88. Yeah. The picture that AJ showed, I was much smaller, but I kept on training. So personally, I put it on some more size. So when I stopped my career, I actually was much bigger than in '88.
Oh, really? Oh. Really?
Yeah. Well, so so that's really my base. And it's funny because now I'm walking on the beaches here for 1 week, and this is really something I never realized. I see guys, mostly guys, if they're out of shape, if they don't train, they think they make a compliment. But the first thing that happened to me a couple of times this week, they say, "Hey guy, you still look great. What are you taking?"
What are you taking? Oh my God!
And then I totally understand.
Taking,
particularly the way they look. But then there's those guys. You can tell right away that they train, that they work hard. They say, "Hey man, you still look good. What are you doing?"
What are you doing?
Well, what are you doing as far as training and all that?
Yeah.
And I have like a challenge with a guy now. He's actually the gym owner where I train, the Fox Gym in Rotterdam.
Yep.
And I said I can have you in like an 88 shape in 1 year. You need time. You need really time. Yeah. Although you think it went quickly, I'm training real serious and doing my nutrition and cardio for over a year already now. Yeah. For almost a year. That's the main thing. If you take your time and take everything in consideration with the possibility of recovery, you know what I'm able to. If you put it in the right order for everybody, I'm really so convinced I can get everybody in shape. And go ahead.
So I'm very interested in your approach to how you prep now with your diet, nutrition, everything. Is health the main focus, or is it more appearance? So I'm just interested in the difference between 25 and 57.
Well, the main thing of any preparation, or if you're like 60 years or 25 for the Olympia, if you have to take in consideration recovery time.
Recovery,
and
right.
That's what you have to adjust. So you can not just like take like a program and just put it on anybody. You have to take the recovery time in consideration. In my program, I'm a strong believer that you always have to, if you fluctuate with your calories, go up and go down. I'm a strong believer you always have to keep your protein almost the same and fluctuate with your carbs and fats. And 9 out of 10 programs, they talk about a fixed ratio about macronutrients.
Yeah.
And so if you go up, automatically your protein goes up. If you go down, your protein goes down. Do
you ratio by calories or nutrients?
The calories at first.
Okay.
But then 2 years ago, I was figuring something out with numbers. And then all of a sudden said, hey, this can be programmed. So this whole magic thing, what I call like the magic of the 88, the nutrition part,
yeah,
it's programmed in my program. It's available to somebody. So I go a little bit off of your question because you asked me about, so what's the biggest difference?
Yeah.
For me, the biggest difference is what I experienced the last year, because I can say a lot of words about it, but the last year I really did it.
Yeah.
It's the recovery time. That's right. What I adjusted.
So how many days a week do you train now compared to how when you were 25?
Well, that's kind of funny. That's still the same. So I train 5 days.
So are you talking recovery in terms of frequency of, say, training a body part? Maybe you'd have trained legs twice a week when you were 25, but now you train them once a week. Maybe is that fair?
No, good question, because that's all the same. So a program on paper might even look the same, but bodybuilding, or I like to call it bodybuilding, but it's the same if my neighbor, the girl, if she's 40 pounds overweight, it's the same kind of approach. So the main thing of bodybuilding, of the training, is intensity, and the biggest mistake all people make, and this might sound really funny, they do too much.
Right.
Everybody does too much. So if you have like a certain program, there are only like 3 or 4 sets in your whole workout that are the working sets, and all the other sets in the program are actually just to help those other sets. Okay. So after 45 minutes, if you're done with training, and you say, well, I'm not done really, well, then you didn't do enough the sets that you had to work.
Right. So it's like my training now, I'm 42, and my training now, whereas I would train for 1 hour 15, now I've actually got cardio fitness as well. My workouts typically aren't longer than 45 minutes because I've got that cardio fitness, and I want to increase the intensity but decrease the time. So I'm kind of following that more style of training now.
Well, I always, I never look at the clock if I train.
Okay.
But when I'm finished, then I look at the clock, and it's always 45 minutes.
Okay.
Why? Because you have a bucket of energy. And that has to do, that energy has also to do with your recovery time, what you are able to do. And that bucket has to be empty at 45 minutes. Yeah. And if you can train longer, then you didn't do again, then you didn't pour enough in those 45 minutes. And you know, it's basically, even the figures, the numbers might look the same, but it's, if only the time difference between sets is slightly different, then the whole effect on the body is already different.
Right. Interesting. Let's talk about cardio. How much cardio do you now, and how is it more important for health or conditioning for you?
Yeah, that's a funny thing too, because when I started, like in June last year, when I thought, well, in 1 year I'm going to be ready, that's when I did all the work. That's when I did all the cardio.
How much?
So once everything what I do is the other way around. You see, most of the people starting adding cardio in the end. Yeah. I do in the beginning. You know, it's like a big train. It takes you a lot of force to really to start it moving. But once it's moving, you can push it one finger. So on the end, when your metabolism is getting higher and higher, you know, then and your fat is already down. Why should you do that much cardio?
But even to maintain your conditioning now, which you've maintained for all these months, I've seen all the videos. How much cardio do you do now?
Mainly for like health issues, so like for my heart and everything. Yeah. Like it's 3 times a week. But now that summer is coming, I'll probably do it like more, because just I like to ride my bike outside. How long? And is it high intensity cardio? No, a good question, because I don't believe in high intensity cardio.
Oh, really?
If you do your weight training properly.
Right.
The way if somebody does his the weight training properly, for example, legs. I'm not really a fan of like doing 4 times 8 and rest a little bit. My training, the way you should train is like a high intensity interval training almost. I still like to train like high intensity, but because of my age, I can't really go really. So what I do, I put like 120 kilograms with the squat 12 times, but right after it, I put it down. I'm running the stairs in the gym and doing some lunges. Okay. The reason I'm saying this is because I only started doing cardio a few years ago. Now, I competed for a few years, and I always thought, oh, well, I train legs hard and I'll train hard and I'm out of breath. I thought I was aerobically fit, but I wasn't actually. I was actually anaerobically fit. So, now I do cardio. I can get through my workouts with a different sort of effort, and it's easier to get through a hard leg workout. It's not as taxing, but because now I've got that cardio fitness, I can do it. But I thought just training legs or whatever was enough to be what I consider aerobically fit, and it wasn't. If the next time we see each other for some kind of event, maybe in Vegas, we're gonna do a leg workout. Oh shit! I'm gonna train legs with Barry. You will understand that you are doing the cardio training during the leg workout. You get your heart rate right up there, and if we do it a few times, you will sit there in your tank top instead of your jacket. Okay, now if you're wondering what happened to the Demey interview, we had some connection issues, didn't we, AJ?
Yeah, a little bit of problems.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he's in Curacao, he's on holiday, and I think Chris forgot to put some money in the meter. Bit of a British joke there. And so we lost him.
Not everybody's British. We don't know these inside jokes all the time, by the way.
Sorry, well, give me a Norwegian joke then.
Sausage hands and...
Sausage.
No.
Who's got sausage hands?
Did you have a sausage arms joke?
Okay, I think we need to stop focusing on the sausage.
You're into the sausage, aren't you? Bratwurst.
Bratwurst, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously we couldn't get a reconnection with Barry, and obviously he's on holiday, so I didn't want to take any more of his time up and say, could you come back on an hour when the guy was probably itching to get to the beach.
Those 45 minutes workouts must be intense the way he's looking at 57.
Yes, they are. Well, that's how long I train for. So
no, but like those results in 45 minutes. Did you see how he looked?
Go to Barry Demey's Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Check out how this guy is looking at 57. I mean, he is. I've been following him for the last year, and he's just been getting better. And he shows his abs are sharp all year round. His arms are back. You could see he flashes his legs sometimes because he was always known for fantastic quads.
Is it good taking pictures as well?
Sorry, a fantastic photographer. I mean, like I said, when he came over to see me in 2011, my friend Robbie Levin said, I've got a surprise. And then Barry Demey turned up and he was there I was taking photos and he was giving me tips and, and I really appreciate that. And I've got a really good connection with Barry. I really like the guy. He was always a bit of it's nice when, as a 15-year-old super fan of bodybuilding, I've got these pictures of these guys on posters on my wall. And then to be able to, call them friends. And it's just a really nice... For me, it's a huge thing, and it's and especially when, you looked up to them as role models and they've not let you down.
It's so nice seeing him like rejuvenated, looking fresh. Barry Demey nutrition.
Yes.
Taking pictures.
His products are really good as well.
Prepping people.
Yeah.
Doesn't he prep some of these celebrities classic in Holland?
Oh, he's just, to be honest, he sent me a little video for Mos News Weekly last year, and it was it was a really high quality production. The guy he's a very classy guy. He's very, you can see, I mean, I'm not allowed to say too much, but I've been doing a lot of his translation for his, on his training system. I'm not allowed to comment on it because it's not ready for launch yet, but I'm telling you, when I saw it, it blew my mind.
Giles, you gotta be, since you're expert. There's 3 people from Holland who got third at the Olympia.
William Bonac,
Rolly Winkler, and Barry Demey. Who's the greatest Dutchman of them all? Who want to give the belt to? Oof. And there can only be one. Each guy has gotten the third at the Olympia as their highest placing.
Barry Demey, 88.
He's getting the award.
He's getting the award.
He's beaten Rolly Winkler, seriously.
Barry, we are going to send you this because Rolly already has one. Because he won the People's Choice. Yeah.
So you have Barry as the greatest Dutchman of all time.
Well, the whole classic class really was... I think maybe when they sat down, Bob Chick and all the guys at the meeting, the IFBB Pro League meeting, sat down, and when they came up with the idea for doing a pro classic class, you can't tell me that they didn't pull up a picture of Barry Demey on the screen and say, right, guys, this is what they want. Because what happened 2 years into the classic class? Who comes along?
And Bob Harris.
Who comes along?
And Sami Banu.
Chris Bumstead. And that really, along with Breon Ainsley, 2-time Olympia Classic champion, that is what they're looking for. And that is probably, well, that's not probably.
Who's smoking who, George or Breon? Who's going to win this year's Olympia Classic? George Peterson. Who just dominated at the Arnold Classic.
Or who, Bumstead?
Breon or George?
Oh, Breon's very good. Breon for me is more classic. He's more classic.
Back to that topic everybody's talking about.
Sorry, go back and watch episodes.
This is Barry Demey. Fantastic interview.
Yeah,
some technical problems, but...
Yeah, it's very... we'll get him on again. I think when he actually launches his training system in a few months, I think maybe we'll get him on again for a little short 20 minutes.
His daughter is also an athlete, wasn't it?
Yeah. I put her in one of my European magazine columns back about 10 years ago when she was competing. A beautiful girl, absolutely beautiful physique. And she's actually, if you look at some of the his training system videos, I think the girl in one of those videos, she's doing some abs. That's his daughter.
I just love on Global Muscle. We have the girls, we have the legend, we have the current guys, we have from South Africa, from England, from America. We got everybody on Global Muscle.
We sure do. And we'll just, like I said, DM us on Global Muscle Radio on Instagram. And if you've got any requests for guests, sometimes some of the requests we've actually already reached out to those guys. So maybe we'll...
Some make up silly stories why they're not...
Yes, they do. But yes, well, it's their loss.
Gotta go to where was it? Okay, let's not talk about that. Okay, good one.
All right, well, we'll go to an ad break now.
Thanks to Barry Demey.
Yes, and we'll be back with our next guest right after the break. And we are... and welcome back to Global Muscle Radio here at the Pump Media Studios, joined by my co-host AJ, all the way from Norway, and we are joined by Jamie the Giant.
Finally
we got him on. Now, before you say anything, Jamie, I will say we actually had Jamie on before, but we had some connection issues, so we've had to reschedule, and we've got him on, and here he is, and he's looking freaking monstrous.
Yes.
So, Jamie, how are you, mate?
Very well, thank you. I'm still alive and kicking and training hard, trying to put on this weight. It's coming on. It's going good.
Okay, first of all, it's not Jamie the Giant. That's not his actual name.
No.
It's Jamie Christian, but you're also known as Jamie Johal, isn't it? Because that was your stepfather's name.
That's right, yes. Origin of that is India. So I have a bit of multi-heritage in the name, but it's a lot easier for people to say Jamie Christian nowadays. So I get shortened to that, but then it's the Giant Johal, Jamie the Giant, all sorts.
When I've had you on Muscle News Weekly, Rosie takes the mickey out of me because I'll say, it's Jamie Christian, Jamie Johal, Jamie the Giant. So anyway, over to you.
Aren't you the tallest pro currently in IFBB Pro League?
Yes. So Sam was distorted when it came through. Yeah, currently the tallest IFBB pro and debatably the tallest ever. So there's Ralph Mollery playing 6'6", Louis Ferrigno 6'5", and I think that's it really. There's a few other tall guys, but no one reaching them kind of numbers.
What about when you wear stilettos?
Well, when I get my 6 inches on, anyway,
It's AJ's reaction. I could tell that little pause.
No,
Sorry.
but back to being serious. It was great seeing you in the flesh. He's very impressive when you see you up close. Such a great physique and such a big frame and tall. And but for people who are not so familiar with you, especially in America, tell us more about you. Where did you come from? How did you turn pro? Where are you from? Things like this, because people are maybe not too familiar with you in America. So we want to get your backstory a little bit.
Definitely. Before I do that, AJ, I've got a question to ask you because it's been my son's birthday today.
Oh.
He is a big fan. He's only 10 years old.
Oh.
But he's a big fan of the Norwegian Viking.
Okay.
Yep.
So
and he wants to meet you on camera. Is that okay?
Of course. Get him in. Well, he's gonna be a little disappointed because they don't usually look like me because they're whiter. But of course,
I'm just gonna go get him. One second.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna be disappointed because he's expecting a white guy.
Just for Jamie's for the audio listeners, Jamie has actually just gone off camera for a little bit. I have no idea why.
Oh, Giles is a bad jokester because now he. So this is a joke. Oh, I thought his son came
joke.
on.
I'm not. I would never lie to you, AJ.
Oh, who's this?
What's happening? Yo, in the Pump Media Studio.
Okay, for the sake of the AJ, for the sake of the audio listeners, do you want to tell us what Jamie's wearing?
The Giant son came out and he's rocking this.
Wellness girls.
Epic,
that was
bro.
good. That was.
I'm just gonna
Look at the glasses.
You gotta leave the chain on. Leave the chain on.
Yeah, leave the chain on.
Yeah, I got to show off your chain, AJ.
You gotta leave the chain on.
Yeah.
The glasses.
Leave the chain on.
Leave the chain on. Leave the chain on.
The reason for this, AJ, I've got a love for you. This is not disrespectful. This is respectful because I love you.
Oh, thank you.
I was a bit saddened last week by watching the Lee Priest interview. Giles got a lot of shit, and I just thought he deserved the flack to be taken off him a little bit this week.
Oh, that was he took a lot of shit, didn't he?
There's a lot of shit. My best friend is Giles.
Well,
bless him.
You got me back then. It's okay.
Took it very well.
Now, well, that was a good one.
Anyway, but let's back. Sorry, it's just I obviously you may have figured this out. I was talking to Jamie about this yesterday.
You don't tell this is on to your backstory. Yes, tell me about you now.
The backstory. So this chain is not real for anyone who's just tuning in. I started training about 17 years ago now. I did my first competition in 2009. So unlike Sanderson, who's only been doing it 4 years, I've been doing it quite a long time, really. Giles knows that I was a classic bodybuilder at first. Stage weight in 2011 and 2012 was 15 stone to 15.5 stone.
That's 210 to 217 pounds at 6'5" as a classic.
Yep. So in 2015, I made the jump to super heavyweights, and I think my stage weight then was around 260. Won the British Championship super heavyweights in 2015. 2016, I came third. That's when Luke Sando got his pro card. I beat Samson and James both years.
Oh. Samson Dowder and James Hollinshead, who were both on last episode. Sorry, 2 episodes ago of Global Muscle Radio.
So you beat them both?
Yeah, who are now obviously both pros, both competed as pros. And if anything, I'm kind of chasing them at the minute. So it's very good to have and come up with these guys and still be kind of competing and talking together and having the banter. As you said on previous shows, there's a great unit of UK guys at the minute coming up through the scene. It's very, very good for UK bodybuilding. Got my pro cards last year. Obviously, I competed first time in March. I was 296, so take that from the first stage weight in 2012, 210 pounds. 86 pounds difference. So that's a lot of weight in, 6 years?
Yeah. That's a hell of a difference.
And still, obviously, as Giles and yourself know, I'm still trying to progress and get to a weight that would be deemed acceptable on a pro stage, which I think is nothing less than 300 pounds for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, last March, we saw you at 296. I estimated maybe you had... Because I remember seeing the videos and pictures at like 4 weeks out, and you were like ready there. And I think you were a bit. Yeah. I mean, we said I did a separate interview once for MD, and it was you were a bit overzealous with your carbing up, and I think maybe you overspilled a little bit. But so really in shape, you were about 285. So 15 pounds like in condition. That's 300 pounds. That on someone your height, that's certainly achievable, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And it is coming on. I've been in full off season from the turn of the year. Really, I had a few holidays and things with families before that, so I wasn't in full off season per se. But start off season started in January. I'm 314 pounds at the minute.
300
and just trying to put the 314. What I'm trying to do is put the weight on slowly, so I know it's a solid weight, and I'll have a period of about 1 to 3 weeks where I hold the weight that I've gained. Because we can all put 5-10 pounds on in a week, but what is the quality of that weight? It's not very good. I'm very conscious about health. It's something that I've been more conscious about in the last few years, and as a bigger guy, I think I should be even more conscious, because obviously my organs are doing even more work than the average height person. So it really is a kind of a slow game for me, although I'm very impatient. I want to get on stage as soon as possible, but I don't think I'll be on stage until 2020.
So next year, have you given any thought to any shows you'd like to do next year?
To be honest, I would like to compete around May, June. There's a lot of shows at that period of time.
British Grand Prix?
If the UK show is on next year, definitely would like to go for that one.
Yeah.
I know the Cali Pro is around the same time. James obviously doing New York. New York is a great show to just be a part of, I think, and not just a stepping stone for an athlete, but a great place to be recognised as a pro.
Are you excited with how, say, Luke Sandow has done at the Arnold Classic, taking 3rd place? You've got Nathan D'Asher, who's like top 7, top 8 in the world now. James Hollinshead's looking very, very big. Samson Dowder's making top 6 in pro shows. Surely, has that motivated you and kind of made you feel like it's more possible for non-American pros and up-and-coming guys to do well straight out the gate?
100%. I think nowadays, obviously back in the day, you just had the magazines, and a lot of the Americans were in the magazines because that's where the publications were mostly. With social media, it's gave us a platform to be as active as we want and get ourselves out there as athletes. And you can see that through every pro out there. We're all active on various scales. I mean, James is an absolute god at the social media game. He's on it all the time. And I think companies actually see that in him and employ him for his skills. So, yeah, there's more potential for the UK athletes to do well overseas. It's one of those as well. Still, you know, you see athletes like Sass looking amazing and not getting first placings. He's still getting seconds and thirds, and you know, we think as fans of his physique that it should be getting better. And I think a lot of it is you've got to kind of show your face and do your time still. But there's definitely more potential for us to not slide in the back door, but do well sooner.
The thing is, all the British guys are actually doing very well. I mean, look at it. They're getting...
But enough about all of them. This is Jamie.
No, I'm saying, but it must be motivating for someone like Jamie thinking, shit, you know, really, if there's a potential now that I'm going to get a good look in from the none of this like paying your dues bullshit. You know, these guys are coming into shows and doing really well. It must be really motivating for Jamie.
Jamie has a great YouTube channel where you actually goes into detail how he preps. What's the name of that channel again for people who want to follow that?
I'm sure the YouTube channel is The Giant.
Yeah, because there you go into detail, very like how you eat, health, cardio, how you, like very detailed.
Tell us about that.
Well, I think obviously as an athlete, growing up, learning, back in the day as a younger athlete, there's a lot of mistakes to be made. So my view is if I can try and enable people to make less mistakes and progress quicker and healthier, then why should I hold that information back? I do my own coaching. I coach quite a few clients. I have quite a few people compete, but you know, I have people that just want to get in better shape, and they obviously get information that is personal to them. So all the information I give out is great information, but it can't be personal unless I know you and know your physique and work with you directly. So I don't think I'm doing any of my clients an injustice by giving away free information at the same time. In my eyes, I'm just trying to help more people.
What do you mean by healthy approach to your own bodybuilding and to your clients? What does that entail?
Yeah, so if we're talking about my YouTube channel, I'll do subjects on nutrition, subjects on supplements, off the shelf and under the shelf, because I think that's a minefield these days. You know, I've made a lot of mistakes with those kinds of things in the past, and there's a lot of misinformation at gyms, on the forums. There's a lot of good forums out there, but there's a lot of bad forums at the same time. So youngsters are really trying to find their way and trying to find trustworthy sources. As an IFBB pro, it's obviously given myself and others like me a platform to share information at the same time, be a trustworthy source. So that's what I mean by helping people. It's trying to give people the right information on all topics involved in bodybuilding, and at the same time educate people that it's not all about one area. It's about all the areas, and you've got to master every one to be very good.
Do you do a lot of cardio, and do you get regular blood work as a pro athlete now?
Yes, definitely, and that's something I try and educate people on as well. Obviously, people don't realise that if we're healthy on the inside, externally we will progress much quicker. So it's important to manage ourselves internally, because it's just going to save us a lot of time, and on the long run it's going to save us a lot of hassle. Because you take 4 steps forward, you get ill, you've lost all those steps, you're going 5 steps back. So the journey I'm on now in this off season, it's about longevity. It's about maintaining health as we push through this year, because I'm going to be pushing weights to heights I've never seen before. And that's obviously going to put stress on my body. So managing health around all that is going to be very important. So I give it. Go on, sorry.
I saw you a lot with Rich Gaspari, some pictures and videos. But is that some guy you looked up to as a younger man, or because he has a very different physique than you, or who were your role models growing up in the sport?
Rich Gaspari was one of them for sure. That era of bodybuilders was great in terms of depth of talent, and the condition of Rich was fantastic. I always, like Giles always says, I always aim for condition. Obviously I didn't hit it in March, we got things a little bit wrong, but I did 3 more shows and I think I nailed each one quite well.
You did.
But I worked with Milos Sarshev for a time. He was someone I looked up to in terms of a knowledge base towards bodybuilding.
How was that with his approach? Because I know people seem to have like an idea of how he preps people, but do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so Milos, obviously, back in the 90s and early 2000s was kind of seen as the pioneer for insulin, wasn't
Yes.
And his background was that his parents they was in the medical industry. They was doctors. So as he was growing up as a young adult, he was kind of bouncing off them. And then at some stage in his life decided, well, how can we contribute one to the other? So how can we mix medicine with bodybuilding? Mm-hmm. So he did a lot of research with his father and found insulin to be a very good nutrient transporter, and then developed this pre-training, intra and post-training kind of ritual with a lot of sugars and insulin to drive nutrients to the through the bloodstream to the muscles and assist recovery and assist growth at the same time.
Okay, what's your opinion on that?
My opinion is, having personally used it, insulin, there's definitely a place for it in sport, but I think in the present day, in pro bodybuilding and even in amateur bodybuilding, people that don't even compete, it's highly abused and people use far too much. You probably know yourself, Giles, as a diabetic. Insulin can be very dangerous. Yeah. You've got to know what you're doing with it. And I don't think you need a lot to do a lot of work.
Do you know what? I mean, I won't say the guy's name. This is a pro. And we'll just say in the last few years, and I was talking to him and I was talking about his prep. And he said, I said, what have you done differently for this prep in particular? And he says, I've started using insulin. I says, I knew you were going to say that. And he says, well, how do you know that? I said, well, I've seen your physique not really change, but your waist has got thicker. I says, and that tells me straight away that you've been using insulin. But his actual physique, actually, in my opinion, hadn't actually changed. So I've got I'm diabetic. I have a very negative view of insulin. I just, like you said, it might drive nutrients to the muscle, but, people, so does glucose and creatine. It's like, I don't think it really actually builds quality muscle. What's your opinion?
I think, as I said before, you've got to be correcting your dosages, and people use far too much. And I believe when they use more than they need, that's when the problems arise with the stomach issues. Combine that with other things like growth hormone. And I think that what they get is a thicker skin or a layer of visceral fat under the skin that you can't really see. It's maybe organ fat, but definitely waist distensions are down to misuse and abuse of these certain substances. I would say to people a small amount to do a little bit of a job with transport is all you need. And as you say, it's not a massive muscle builder. People think they're going to put on 20 pounds, 30 pounds. It's just stupid. It's not the case.
Well, I'll disagree with that as well, because what I think actually happens, it does put 20 or 30 pounds on, but it just puts like bloat or water in the muscle. And then when they diet down, I don't think I've seen this in bodybuilders where I remember a middleweight guy and he went up to like 100 kilos in the off season. He said the pumps were amazing and this was amazing. And when he dieted down, he hadn't put any muscle on and he actually ended up with a gut. So for me, like I said, I'm very negative towards it. I just find it, I wish it never come into bodybuilding. I remember when Dorian said he used it in 1997, and I think his physique suffered for it. But like you said, Milos has always been a proponent of it, and maybe people just are misusing it. But for my personal opinion, I think it has no place in bodybuilding. I really don't.
I think what people need to really concentrate on is, like I said earlier, is all the other elements of bodybuilding.
Yeah, absolutely.
The training, the food, the sleep, the rest, the supplementation, and managing stress. All these things are going to get you far greater results than using any supplement or hormone replacement. But people now in today's society jump in for the hormone replacements and the other things before they've even cracked the diet. Yeah. And that's the wrong way to look at it.
I mean, like, I truly believe that Kai Green and Ronnie Coleman did turn pro as naturals. I truly believe that. I've spoken to Ronnie himself. I've spoken to people close to Kai Green. And, you can see, like, say, Kai Green from 2005 to 2006, he went from being like 15th in New York Pro and being quite a small, like almost like a middleweight, light heavyweight type bodybuilder to like off-season 280 the next year, because that's when he started using. But he'd already built a very, very good foundation through years and years and years of training, competing as a junior, then competing as a mister, turning pro, making top 15 at the New York Pro. you know, Ronnie was like, I mean, Ronnie was a freak before he even set foot into a gym. He was genetically predisposed. So I think, like you're saying, you know, the modern, especially with some of the access to certain information that are kind of, I think they're misinforming people that, you know, it's all about drugs, it's all about this, you can take a shortcut. I just think it's a really sad place that we're in now where people do think, okay, you know, I know people that as soon as they set foot into the gym, they're wanting to take stuff. And for me, it's the completely wrong approach. What's your take on that?
Oh, 100%. And the amount of times that people have come up to me and asked me if when I'm in shape dieting for contest or when I'm off season, I'm bigger. What do I need to take to look like that?
Oh, come on.
And you know yourself, that's such a stupid way of looking at things. Yeah. And I do try and educate them a little bit, but it's kind of with them type of people, it goes in one ear and out the other. They're just after one thing, and they think that's a shortcut to success. And they will learn the wrong ways, I guess.
Yeah.
How is Jamie gonna? What's your at 6'6"? How much does he need to be weigh on stage, Giles? Do you think to make it? Are you concerned about your place? Is this something you think about in the pro league, the placings, or is it just to be a successful bodybuilder like motivate people? Or are you going for the placings? Because at 6'6", you know how it is against guys who are 5'7" and 5'8".
Do you not think that's an advantage?
No.
You don't?
I personally do, but the judges do not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is with
they do not.
Sorry to interject. The thing is with Jamie's physique, I've seen it. I've seen him win like when he August. The last two bros I saw you at, was it August or June?
I think it was August.
You beat guys that were shorter. Obviously shorter, they're all shorter. Some of the guys were very, very much thicker than you, but you've got such good aesthetics. You've kind of got classic aesthetics with a physique that's 280, 290. So you've got a lot of size. I think.
That's why I'm asking.
I don't think he needs to be 320 to win shows. That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
Okay, so what do you think? Are you going for the placings? What's your mindset going in as a pro? Because there's no successful 6'6" guys ever in the sport.
No. The eventual goal is obviously placings. The eventual goal is the Olympia. Now, I personally believe, and I know this from being in the shows and seeing people and speaking to people, that in the off season, when I'm not in shape, my physique isn't as impressive because it's not a physique that pops. It's not got the roundness as a shorter guy. Okay. My physique comes to life when I'm dieted. You can see the shape, and like Giles says, the lines. And what I lose in thickness, I think I gain back in stature.
Yes.
And I gain back in presence, and I think that is my calling card. So. I'm not chasing these guys for size and thickness. I know I need to improve those, but I'm never going to be as thick as a Luke Sando. I have to keep working on my positives.
Jamie, that front lat spread, when you hit that and when you're absolutely bang on with your shoulder width.
Especially out in the snow in his porch.
Yes, and the tiny waist and the flaring quads. I mean, like you said, that stature, because he brings condition, because he brings aesthetics, and it's just so impressive. Your eye is drawn to that, and it takes it away from the other guys.
I just pray to God that the judges see it the same way.
Pray to the Viking god.
No, but like, because it's hard to judge though. It's hard to judge it because it is hard.
I've seen him beat a lot of very, very good bodybuilders, and quite convincingly.
Yes, I hope the judges agree. That's about
I'm looking forward to it. And this off-season is going to be a long one, like I said, but 2020, it will come around very fast, and I will be on stage in 2020. And I think having the pro card, I'm yet to see, but I think you'll get treated fairer. As an amateur, the shows are judged a lot quicker, and they scan across the line. I'll probably stand out because I'm tall, and then they'll think, he's lacking thickness, we'll choose a shorter guy because that's what we know. It's down to me now to develop more of a status, more of a buzz about myself, and get the judges to know about me before I step on that stage, so they know who I am.
Another point, the thing about tall bodybuilders, myself included, when I used to compete, tall guys like 6 foot plus don't usually have good legs. They don't usually have big legs. Jamie's legs are freaking awesome. His legs are awesome.
Yeah.
So, you know, you know, it ticks a lot of his physique ticks a lot of boxes, regardless of his height, and because of his height.
I just hope they're rewarding it.
Well, let's see.
Let's see, huh?
Yeah.
What's your, yeah, man. So, what's your? Is there any plans to move to America?
Not as yet. I have a son who's 10 and a daughter who's 12. So moving family, that would be difficult with my personal situation. My son's with an ex. My daughter's my wife's daughter with an ex-partner of hers. So obviously you can see there's a bit of a conflict of interest between parents there. That is the biggest stepping stone that we'd cross. It has been thought about, definitely. But when I spoke to Rich Gaspari when I went to New Jersey last year, he said he didn't think that it was too relevant with the power of social media these days.
No. It's not hurt Nathan, it's not hurt Luke.
I'm just saying there's a lot of other opportunities when you're 6'6".
What opportunities?
6'6" in America.
What opportunities?
Acting,
what opportunities?
Commercials.
Well, he's a bodybuilder. He doesn't want to be an actor. If he wants to be an actor, like... but he was an actor.
I understand.
A lot of British actors do American films, you know. If he wants to go into movies, which he perfectly can, you know, like you said, it's social media now. It's like all they have to do is see... Like if he goes to an agent and says, right, I'm 6 foot... Like that Martin Ford. That guy just filmed, Martin Ford, the big tall guy, yeah? He's doing films. I saw him doing a film with Batista. He was in the makeup chair next to him. You know, if you're on social media and your stats are out there and you get a foot in the door, it doesn't matter where you live. So there.
I think it's made it a lot better for athletes now to make a living.
Yeah.
Go on, AJ.
Are you which crew are you part of in England? Because I'm not from England. Are you with Sassan and Luke and all them, or are you are you part of that crew, or which crew are you with?
The crew. Which do you roll with?
Yeah, because there's a little because in the beginning I thought everybody was friends, but now I see there's some little.
There's north, south.
So I want to see where are you? Which team are you on?
Team Giant.
I'll be dead honest. Yeah, I'm Team Giant. But no, I'll be dead honest. I'm always honest. It might upset some people, but that's life. Yes. I think there's one lone wolf in the UK. There's one person that in recent times has appeared to need to prove a point that he's the best. And that is Mr. Asher. I spoke to Nathan when he turned pro in 2014. We was at the Olympia that year. And we got on, you know, he seems like a good guy, but I don't know, these days he just seems to be on social media. Whether it's an actor or not, I can't say because I'm not close friends and I don't talk to him personally, but the act and persona that he puts on just kind of segregates him to his own self. Now, I'm on the podcast with James and Luke. I speak to them regularly. We've got a WhatsApp group with Banji, and Giles has mentioned on the show that he's been on the show before as well.
Yeah. You took my place, actually. I think you're my permanent replacement now. Now they've discarded me. That's why I had to start this one, because I was feeling left out.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sanderson speaks to him quite regular. You know, just a bit of a catch up. Mark Hector being new to the scene, he's a nice guy. I think he's just cracking on with his own stuff. Yeah. Sassan, he likes to keep himself to himself, but lovely guy. We'll message each other occasionally just to see how things are going. Luckily, I'm quite close to Cuba. Cuba's a new pro.
Cuba Seelan, he's a 20. Sorry to interrupt. He's a 24-year-old guy. Just turned pro, one of the Two Bros show last year. He's 24 years old. Yeah, he's got great physique.
24.
Yeah, he's 24. He's only just out the juniors. So just sorry to illustrate, just so you know who Jamie is talking about.
Yeah. No, he has got a great physique, great shape, and the same kind of ethos as me now, to add a little bit more size, a little bit more thickness. But I train with him most weeks because he's got an Ultraflex gym in Rotherham, which Giles obviously knows the one from Leeds. Great gyms.
I've trained at the Rotherham one, actually. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Really good.
So other than yourself, who's the second best bodybuilder in England if you take Nathan out of the picture? Who's the second best? You can only choose one. On
current standings,
what you see your eye.
On current standings, Luke, but I like James's physique better.
Oh, really? Really?
That's my personal opinion. I don't know. It's because I'm going to try and look at this from an unbiased perspective.
Yeah.
I need to see James on stage and James compete, because James looks very good in pictures.
Yeah.
It was very, very impressive in pictures. So it would be nice to see what he looks like compared to Prague, because I know in his own eyes, Prague, he came down too much.
Yes,
right.
He did, yeah.
In his plan at the minute is to go to New York bigger, but with the same condition as Prague. So I think it'll be an interesting matchup between Luke and James, because Luke needs to nail it with the fullness and the dryness at the same time. He obviously, and I think he's a guy who gets stressed quite easily, and that affects his physique as well. That's why he's resting now to the Olympia, which I think is definitely the right move, and will serve him good for that.
What did you think when Luke got third at the Arnold?
So his answer was Luke. Oh, his answer was Luke. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, but sometimes I ask you guys, and you. So the answer was Luke.
We go off on tangents.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
No, James was the second best. He said.
Okay.
Was that what you said? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm a massive fan of Sasan's physique.
Amazing.
I think Sasan is having a little bit of a break at the minute. I'm not quite sure. I've not spoken to him for a while, but
haven't seen him.
No. I think he's turned natural, so he's going to be doing a natural show next year.
Seriously? No, is he?
No, I'll drop him a message and find out.
He kind of goes on radio silence a lot, and I reach out to him every now and again, and he'll get back to you a couple of days later, and he'll just, I think he was very upset that he didn't get the Arnold invite.
But the reason he didn't get the Arnold invite is probably the reason because nobody sees him.
Well,
yeah, I think some people are still against social media and pushing themselves out there. Some people find it more difficult than others.
Yeah,
that's fair. I was going to say being younger, but I'm 33. I'm the same age, if not a little bit older than all these guys.
33.
I don't look it, I don't think, but
No. He's old at 33. Okay, whatever. All right. Cheers, guys. Yeah, me too. Well, I'm actually old. I
think to be successful, you need to bite the bullet and have that social media mindset that you got to push yourself out there, and it's about likability. I was a salesman years ago, and someone once said to me, "People buy off people they like."
Yep.
Same thing with social media. People would buy into someone if they like them. That's going to get you places, whether you call it brown nosing, arse kissing, whatever. It's just doing the job.
You're very good at social media, though. I like your social media.
Yeah, I just like to try and be honest.
It's very
don't pull any punches. And informative at the same time. A bit of humour, but a bit of information for people to take away from it.
Go on then. Finish off with a couple more questions, AJ, and then we'll let Jamie go back to his.
When was the debut again? It was. I have to have that in my mind. When was your debut? 2020. What months are we talking about?
May, June.
May,
so
June.
If the UK show is on next year, I will definitely set my sights on doing that.
£300 plus on stage.
And I won't be dropping out or being accused of dropping out by certain bodybuilders.
Oh!
What was that?
Nothing. I'll tell you later.
Oh,
shots fired.
Who dropped out?
No, I'll talk to you later.
Oh, it's secret information.
I don't. Yeah. I'll say that.
I don't think it's not really about people dropping out. It was about the latter comment about people accusing people of dropping out. That was what I was getting at.
Actually, I'm getting lost here now. I'm getting confused.
This is too inside joke for me. What's going on?
Well, we'll talk about. Come on, next question.
Okay. No, we just speaking as a man with normal height. Bodybuilding fan with normal height. I'm also 6'6", 6'5".
That's not normal.
But you know what I'm getting at. The point you're like a breath of fresh air. It's so refreshing to see. You're a role model for a lot of guys, because there's a lot of bodybuilding fans who are not 5'6", 5'7", 5'8". There are guys 6'3" and up.
Yeah.
And you show that that can be done. It's really it's moment, because this is new. We haven't seen this before
since Lou Ferrigno, isn't it?
So a lot of people are looking for you to see how you're doing. So we're really looking forward to see it. We're really proud of you. Because we're not going against people who are shorter, but being 6'6" and 320 pounds. Yeah. That's the perfect male physique.
Well, yeah.
Bodybuilding, building the body, and being 6'6", 300.
Yeah.
That's music to my ears.
Yeah.
So we're very proud of you. We will be supporting you. We will be promoting you, and me and Giles gonna make a bet soon.
Okay.
And then I'm going. Well, we talk about that later. But we talk about that later. But I'm gonna use your services, Jamie. We're gonna use your services as a prep coach soon for something for myself. Yeah. So I will get back to you on that one.
AJ and men's physique, guys. You heard it here first.
So no, because I need some. We're gonna talk about that later. But good luck. And we're really proud of you, and we're excited to see what's going on for the future.
No, thank you very much.
All right, Jamie. Well, I'm going to leave you to get back to your crew, your family.
Yo.
That chin. Can you do a rap for us before you go?
Oh, yeah. It's twins. Yeah. Twins. Okay. I thought an idea. Twins, the sequel. Which one's Danny DeVito, guys?
Oh, come on.
Which one's Danny DeVito?
We're the Twin Towers, bro.
Towers.
Come on, man. Danny DeVito.
It's got to be AJ.
No. Who's taller?
No, forget about that now. Yeah.
For the audio listeners,
no.
Jamie is looking very cool right now.
Where did he get those glasses from?
I sent them to him yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're my reading specs.
Oh. Now, nice having you on.
All right, Jamie, we're going to let you go, mate, and I really appreciate you taking the time, and really glad you got you on, and we'll get you on again very soon.
And where can people follow you at?
AKA.
Instagram is AK the Giant, and I just want to say, guys, thank you very much to you as well. I watch all the shows. You three are doing a great job, and you work very well together. AJ, you're a class act, and Giles, you're even classer. Well, I'm going to say classier.
Even more classier.
Yes. Well, I do wear tailored suits, you know. So. All right, Jamie, I'll speak to you soon, mate. Thank you.
That's all right. Thanks
Cheers, buddy.
See
Thank you. There we go.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
6'6", 225 pounds.
Oh, AJ's happy now.
It's going to be good.
AJ's going to be in bed sleeping tonight, like all happy.
No, but it's very... but it's nice seeing
Yeah, look at his shoulders.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Fucking shoulders.
It's going to be great. Can't wait to see him on stage.
Yeah.
What was that inside joke about? I didn't understand that one. Who
I don't actually know.
So what?
He wasn't talking about Luke. He wasn't talking about Luke pulling out of the June show, was he? I don't think it's because him and their friends.
I have no idea who's friends with who.
I'll figure it. I'll message him later. I'll find out.
There has to be some...
Stop trying to find beef where there isn't any. You know what you are.
We got to spice up the industry.
You're watching too much WrestleMania, mate.
Yep. No, but this great guy. As people, I hope people follow it. I hope people follow his story.
Yeah. No, he does really good social media content. He's a family man. You know, I've had him on my Muscle News Weekly show several times. I always speak to him at shows. He's a really lovely, genuine guy. A good role model. Importantly, good role model, which I think we need as many of as possible right now in the sport.
Last year when I saw him at the...
he fainted.
Bros to Pros as an amateur. He walked by in the hallway. This was me.
Love hearts.
I was like, who is this guy? Me and all the girls were looking. It was fantastic sight.
I saw him. He's an immense character and he's a great guy.
Yeah, so it's really good for the sport.
And he'll be a legit 300-pounder with a tiny little waist on stage.
Oh, very small little waist.
And he's got
beautiful legs.
For such a tall guy, like I said, he's got really good aesthetics. I mean, he came from the Classic in 2012. 3 years later, put like 50 pounds on. I was there when he won the British finals. I'd never even heard of this guy. He won the Zach Khan Classic, who was a qualifier, and I kept hearing about this guy, this Jamie Christian. Oh, you should see him, he's fantastic. I'm like, wasn't that the guy who was a Classic a couple of years ago? I can't be that big. He goes and wins the super heavyweights, beats Luke Sandow, all these guys, James Hollinshead, Samson, beats them all. And then, like 3 years later, wins his pro card, and now he's on his way to... You know, it's good. I'm glad we got him on. He's a good personality. And
him versus beefed up Sibu Sisiku. Gonna be great on stage.
God, that'd be fantastic.
Would that be a real sight to see?
We'll have to get Sibu to come over and do the UK show next year.
That would be a really good show.
Yeah. You know what? There's so many good new pros coming up. I know I complain sometimes about the amount of pro cards that are given out, but you know, when these guys sometimes do get their pro cards, it gives them an impetus to really put their foot on the pedal and really improve. And I mean, he's going to be, I think he was 285 when he won his pro card. He's going to be like probably 300, 310 pounds.
Is it more interesting pros coming from the UK and America at this moment than new pros?
Yeah, I think. Well, the thing is, they seem to be doing really well. If you look at the British finals winners from 2013.
We're very biased now. That's
no. 2013, Ricardo. 2014, Nathan Diasha. Yeah. 2015,
Ricardo is from Brazil.
Sassan.
Sassan's from Iran.
2016, Luke Sandow. 2017, James Holland said, all these guys are kicking ass.
Just to make sure, Nathan is from Jamaica and Sassan is from Iran.
He's from Liverpool.
Okay, get.
Okay. Well, they're residing in the UK.
But seriously, there's great talents from the UK. You guys should be really proud. There's definitely something going on.
Okay, well, we're going to finish off the show on this interview. So anything else you want to finish off with, AJ? Have you enjoyed this episode?
We're not finished with the episode because we have...
Well, we're doing it in a funny order. We're doing
a remix.
This is going to... It's all been... We don't necessarily film this in order. Sometimes we do the intro first. Sometimes we do it last.
We're going to give... Before we go out, because
this
is the end, we got to do one shout-out, because we forgot. Remember those 2 shout-outs before we end it?
Hang on.
You got 2 shout-out. What's the shout-out? You don't have it on. We can't bring it on. Then we got to do it in...
We'll do it after.
We do it after.
Yeah. No, I don't actually have any. I put them in the intro, so I'm happy with them. I'll do some more for next episode. So.
No.
Yeah. Good episode, AJ.
Good episode.
Another one in the bag,
mate. Buddy.
Another one in the bag. And good energy. And yes, we will be back.
I hope he does the Lou Ferrigno post when he comes out in his debut.
What's the Lou Ferrigno post?
Oh, you just wait till you see it.
It's not that Hulk, is it? When he jumps off a building.
It's the victory pose. The Sergio Olivia, when he comes out, it's like, Sergio Olivia.
Lou Ferrigno never did that pose.
Yeah, when he came out, they returned 93, remember?
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did when he came out. When he just stood there, remember, took the applause?
I've watched that video a lot of times. I don't remember that pose.
Yes.
That one?
Yeah, and he walks out, and everybody goes crazy. He just stands there for like 2 minutes. You don't remember
you probably watched it last night before you came here. So yeah. So I'll accept that one.
Well, good one.
I feel like Chris is going to say something.
No, I was just going to say sponsorship, High-Tech Pharmaceuticals.
Yes.
And
Pop Media.
Previous podcasts, where can they get found?
iTunes, if you want to, as an audio downloadable. We have SoundCloud. We're on Player FM, Pandora. And if there's any more platforms you would like us to be on, let us know and we will do our best to make that happen. And and also check out our Instagram page, Global Muscle Radio. Mr. Captain Photoshop there. Yeah. DM us on Global Muscle Radio Instagram page. Let us know if there's any guests you'd like us to get, any requests. And
I'm surprised.
And also, thank you for sharing us on your stories and all your feedback. We do appreciate it, positive or negative. It's all constructive.
And spread the good word, people. Spread the good word.
And one thing is, how can Barry Demey have Kai Green as his... after all that thing about the waist and all this?
I know.
It's strange, huh?
Yeah, very unusual.
Isn't it?
Yeah, maybe. Well, 2009 Kai was a very artistic. I think after that it went a bit...
But to bring him up as the classical, beautiful, isn't it strange?
Look at 2009 Arnold Classic Kai Green.
Oh, fantastic.
That is very artistically beautiful.
Yeah, but
if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Okay. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Big thank you to High-Tech Pharmaceuticals. Big thank you to that guy, our resident nerd.
You're welcome.
Thank you to Barry Demey.
Chris Clark, Barry Demey.
Jamie the Giant.
And the other guest. Okay, we'll see you next week for Global Muscle Radio. And we are out.